What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1010 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my guest co-host today, coming up off the bench to save me in overtime. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. Long time since I've been on the program.
It has been a while.
It has been a while.
Well,
so you're
busy
saying
these days.
Yes, you're saying today's episode 1010.
1010.
That's pretty good. That's pretty great.
It feels very uniform in a way.
Yeah.
When it was so when we were making the thumbnails now, because we have like little episode number in the bottom, I just shrink the text more now because we just had to add another digit. Also, when you're doing the episode title on YouTube, you now have one less character to work with.
Yeah.
It's so tough being me.
We started doing that again for IRL, including the episode numbers, but that's a good segue in who I am. My name is Kellen. I am the head of content and production here at Timcast, and also every other day I am Brett's handler. So, yes. I make sure he says the appropriate and approved messaging.
Sometimes when I say war with Iran is bad, he says whip and then says no, that's not the message.
There's just a little laser, a little red dot that you'll see on your body, and you'll know. Yeah.
That's when you know it's time to refocus and say, I love Benjamin Netanyahu. That's what I say.
Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu. If you can hear me, Benjamin, please, Benjamin. Anyway, good to be here.
Also, guys, we have a special guest today. Like I said, yesterday I was trying to figure out what we were going to do for the show today. Colonel Kurtz she just couldn't be on today. She will hopefully be back next week. I know you guys have gotten really attached to those Tuesday episodes, but I was like, all right, I need somebody else to come up off the bench, somebody else to help me with this episode, and that person is here with us. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, guys. I am Olivia Dasovic. I am one of the chief mods on the Timcast Discord.
And we were talking about the Discord before the show because I was like, look, I'd be happy to do more, like another show on the Discord, because I'm looking to also expand the content that we're doing for the YouTube memberships and all that stuff. I said, and the only way I will do that is if you literally set up everything and I just have to show up, because every other day I'm doing all the stuff on the channel. I don't have the time to expand out there. So one day that's going to be what you're going to have to do.
I know. And you know what? I'll do the work for you. You just show up and look pretty, okay?
I can do that.
Yeah.
How you been?
Good.
I say that like we don't already know.
Yeah, no, things are good, just working on pre-show, doing all that good stuff, which you guys should watch at 6 p.m. on the Timcast Discord. It'll be good.
All right.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of stuff to get into today, guys. But before we get started, as always, I need you to hit the like button on this video, and I need you to subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Perhaps you're watching this on the replay and you have not yet subscribed to Pop Culture Crisis. You should go ahead and do that. Also, as you guys know, especially if you are a regular in the live chat, channel memberships are in fact open, so you can subscribe and become a channel member. I am in the process of working on more additional content. The first of that will be filmed after this episode tonight. Hopefully that will be gotten out onto the channel later in the week, this week, and then making it available later down the line for the audio platform listeners. So you who subscribe to the channel memberships will get early access to all of that. So thank you guys so much for all of you who have chosen to sign up as membered or gifted memberships to other people. It's a huge help to the channel, and I know that the people who get those channel memberships gifted to them appreciate it as well. We're gonna make it worth your every bang for your buck. Also, there is a mocha emoji if you want to use that, along with many others. There's Judgmental Phil, there's Angry Mary, there's Regular Mary, there's Blonde Brett, and then there's Panicked and Depressed Brett, which is my personal favorite.
And Mr. Fluffykins.
And Mr. Fluffykins is on there as well. So go ahead and sign up for the memberships. What are we getting into today? Well, number one, of course, being Donald Trump has a consistent need, or I shouldn't say Donald Trump, that's a message of framing. The White House has a consistent need to use pop stars as a way of pushing their political agenda, in the sense that they tend to lean into becoming adversarial with them. They recently posted a video of, the U.S. at war and bombs being dropped to the song Blow by KESHA, which upset her greatly, and she has since responded, so we are going to talk about that. We are also also going to talk about Glen Powell, who you guys know is at one point the person I consider to be one of the last great hopes for Hollywood. And he's made a very big mistake. He's done an interview. To be fair, he was led on by a particularly annoying interviewer, but he did not pass the smell test when it comes to this interview clip talking about his new movie, How to Make a Killing. So we will talk about that. We are also going to talk about how Gen Z has major daddy issues in a new UCLA survey talking about what Gen Z and Gen Alpha men are looking for in their entertainment is what seems to be the evidence of that. So we'll talk about it. Also, movie theaters are dead. It's time to call time of death. And we're going to have a discussion, I suppose, a more open-ended discussion on what it was that killed movie theaters, because AMC is down another 10% in the fourth quarter. So if you guys are ready, we can go. Kellen, are you ready?
VR chat killed the movies.
Is that what it was?
I think so. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Olivia.
Ready to go.
Let's go for it then. Here we go. This is from Pop Base, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my favorite.
I love Pop Base. It's the #1 place to get all your entertainment news. KESHA denounces the White House's usage of the song Blow for a TikTok video of a bombing. If you haven't seen, we can't even play the video because the clip will end up getting us demonetized. I suppose we could show the video of the clip. Maybe I'll play it once we get the discussion going.
You're saying the audio will?
The audio will, yes. Yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna play I'm gonna let you guys listen to, you know what? We're not gonna play the video yet. We'll read you the quote here. It's come to my attention that the White House has used one of my songs on TikTok to incite violence and threaten war. Trying to make light of war is disgusting and inhumane. I absolutely do not approve of my music being used to promote violence of any kind. Love always trumps hate. Trademark. Okay, it doesn't say trademark on there. That's just me. Please love yourself and each other in times like this. This show of blatant disregard for human life, and quite frankly, this attack on all of our nervous systems, is the opposite of what I stand for. Also, don't let this distract us from the fact that criminal predator Trump appears in the files over 1 million times. I don't know if that number's accurate. Is that number accurate?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen that claim going around. I just find it hilarious that, like, overnight, almost every, like, ill-informed Hollywood person all of a sudden is so obsessed with Trump and Epstein.
Well, I mean, they were always obsessed with Trump, but they definitely became obsessed with Epstein because of his proximity. I'm going to play this in the background so you guys can see what we're talking about while we're talking here. But I mean, that's the thing, right? None of them cared at all about what was going on until Trump's name was leaked in the documents. And of course, most of that stuff was stuff that they were called, basically unsubstantiated claims made to the FBI after he'd already entered the White House, stuff that was very easily debunked. But here's the problem. That you guys saw the video here. It's still an optics problem for him, at least in my opinion, which is that I think right now he's already got a problem losing his base in a lot aspects of his base in a lot of ways, because his base is kind of made up of a lot of different factions, and there were a lot of libertarians and moderates who are not in support of what's going on, entering Iran. But that's not the only time this has happened. This has happened with plenty of other artists. It happened with Olivia Rodrigo. There was another instance, I don't know if you guys ever talked about this, where I think it was like, not DHS, but it would have been Border Security did like a Batman video of like DHS as Batman to talk about illegal border crossings and stuff.
This behavior is like the kid at the park who said, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. That's what it reminds me of. It's just petty.
In what way?
Like, all right, so if we're talking about war and we're going to talk about criticisms, yeah, I'm open to hearing people that actually know what they're talking about. I don't really care about takes from Olivia Rodrigo, KESHA. It just makes them seem insufferable. It makes them seem, I don't know, jealous, lame, like a wet sponge.
But the thing is, both sides end up kind of only appealing to their own base, right? So
Sure.
Olivia Rodrigo's fans don't want her in support of anything he's doing, fine. And it's not like they're gaining new ground by poking at, because, okay, so what his comms director said was basically singers keep falling for this and giving us views. And it's just like, well, the views you're getting on it is mostly hate watching. Your own base supports this anyways, and your own base doesn't support KESHA or Olivia Rodrigo.
Do you think KESHA and Olivia Rodrigo are getting additional fans by doing this? I doubt it.
No.
I doubt it. They're only standing to lose. It's like with the Super Bowl, not this past year, but the year before, when you had all the Swifties because Taylor Swift was there. And I'm like, I'm not going to listen to you guys about your football takes.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're talking
she
about.
loves Taylor Swift.
Okay,
so.
yeah, but I don't say because I like Taylor Swift. I also like football. I'm a hardcore Detroit Lions fan.
It's not. That's
but
too bad.
Kellen's judging over here.
It's like, the Lions. Huh?
But don't fault me for that. But I don't think that pretending to know about football because you're a fan of Taylor Swift does anything. Like, I think it's stupid. And so they're like, oh, I'm going to have this take now on this team. It's the same thing here. They're suddenly having takes because Trump's not implicated, but you know what I'm saying. His name's out there with Epstein. And like, oh, it's convenient for me now. It's convenient to virtue signal to my audience so that I stay relevant because I haven't been relevant in 10 years.
I mean, she's been relevant because she had to change the lyrics to TikTok because of Diddy. That was the last time she was relevant.
Barely relevant, though. Yeah, like, this reminds me also, I would 100% agree. That was a point I was going to make. The other thing is, have you seen what's going on with these Twitch streamers now, where they're almost being forced by their audience to give their political takes?
Imaru or whatever.
That was the big one. There was another one from a much smaller streamer that just happened over the weekend or last couple of days.
Who was it? You know
I don't know her name. Just another Twitch streamer, though.
So basically, they come in the audience. It's like, why don't you comment on these things?
Right, right. And it's like you don't gain fans from doing this. You only lose them. And the Twitch viewers or the Twitch streamers are a lot more aware of this phenomenon. Yeah. Where these washed-up singers like KESHA, they're desperate. It just screams desperation to me.
It's even worse too when you think about it with the context of influencers, because like my guilty pleasure on YouTube with shorts is like the people that do the game content where they all compete against each other for like
the soccer one that you
the
were
soccer
like,
one,
like the Mr. Beast videos.
No, they're not that. Like
it's like families that compete in like different challenges.
You mean all the
stuff?
Mormons? Those are all Mormon videos.
Are they? Well, there you have it.
I swear.
The point being that none of them have to have opinions on politics, and it would be and it would end up ruining the mystique of the channel if they did, because the whole point is like I literally watch it to turn my brain off as an escape. Though I'm going to make a video one day about how I believe all of those are rigged and done by directors, because there's no way that they end that like on a cliffhanger all the time. So like each family has like one member, or I guess like it's not always families. Like sometimes they're married couples, but there's always one who's better than everybody else. And I just know that somebody's
It's always like the 8-year-old daughter too.
Yes.
She's always the best one in the family. They're like,
oh no.
But the point is, those families don't have to have opinions on politics, and the beauty of it would be is that, and my summation has always been that I believe that actors want to be pop singers because it benefits pop singers to have lame leftist opinions on politics, because their audience already believes that, so it reinforces what their audience always believes, so that they can get the Yas Queen Slay response.
Here's the thing: if Kesha came out and was just like, this is an issue that's very important to me, I don't support the wars, but no, it became a whole like, Trump, you're a bad guy, I don't like you, and I'm taking my song back, and that's what's so lame about this whole ordeal. I mean,
this was the other thing that this was from a couple months ago. I did a separate video on this. It was like Trump administration uses Batman in DHS promo. And now this has even more nefarious context to it, because Trump is close with Ellison, which we're going to talk about in the next segment. And Ellison's about to get control of Batman because they just bought Warner Brothers. But the point is they're using it to like make themselves look cool. And I think it's an optics problem for them. Like to me, my issue with what's going on in Iran more than anything is like the argument people always gave to Trump's lack of decorum in office was like, bull in a china shop, he's going to go in there to change things. Well, what we're doing right now is the opposite of changing things. So why do I support stupid stuff that's bad for you optically with the rest of the public if you're not actually bringing about any meaningful change to the way we do politics?
I will say though, and it's like it is lame, like you were saying, it was more of a condemnation of the White House rather than Trump himself at the start of this. And it's true, because whoever's running those White House accounts, the DHS accounts, I mean, they're putting up some great work. They're putting up some like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James level numbers with these posts. And
well, for all we know, Larry Ellison's bumping those numbers because he owns TikTok now.
Maybe.
I mean, I would say whatever Gen Z staffer is in here making these videos, doing all this, I mean, props. Give him a raise.
Well, we've got this
it's incredible.
We've actually got this here from the White House. The White House did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment. Shocking. White House Director of Communications, Stephen Chung, quoted Kesha's tweet on X and wrote, "All these singers keep falling for this. They just give us more attention and more view counts to our videos because people want to see what they're bitching about. Thank you for your attention in this matter." And that just, to me, if I'm speaking as like a moderate who's not particularly inclined to really want us to be where we are right now, which is on the precipice of another war, the idea that you make light, even if you want to claim that that's not what it is, it's going to feel that way to moderates and people who aren't already super pro-Trump. It's going to feel like you're making light of war.
But they're never going to change.
That has put the boots on, and that has put American soldiers in coffins once again.
But they'll never change. They're always going to hate Trump or hate Republicans for having Trump as...
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the moderates who maybe don't like him, maybe don't hate him, but are like, why are we here again?
Do you really think there's any fence sitters like that? I mean, I think you guys are a dying breed. I just don't,
Well, mine's my oppositional defiance disorder. I just refuse to accept whatever either party tells me.
But that's exactly why Kesha's doing what she's doing. Yeah. She's just Trump could pass a bill to save puppies, and she's like, you know what?
Like, how dare you?
Cats are better.
I mean,
these puppies,
true,
Muslims, they hate dogs, right? Why are we why are we discriminating against such a large proportion of the population by advocating for these beasts?
Oh, they would.
Yeah.
You could stop like the next big terrorist attack, and they'd be like, "How dare he?"
Why terrorism is actually good?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I said that on IRL Friday. I said the worst. If you ever see in a headline why this is actually a good thing, is you're about to read the worst article you've ever read in your entire life. Like why the economy's tanking, and here's why that's.
I'm convinced the people that write those articles are like failed novelists
because they're so long.
Yeah.
No, because they create a fantasy,
and
they weren't able to actually make a book that anyone wanted to read, so they have to condense it down to a crappy New York Times article.
I agree. Also, Sabrina Carpenter. I was trying to remember who it was. It was Sabrina Carpenter this happened with during the ICE riots and stuff. She came out and said it too, and then people were badgering Taylor Swift when she was on tour for not speaking up and saying something about whatever the hot button issue was at that time. And I don't get why they feel like they have to say anything at all. I don't get it.
I like the ones that don't feel like they need to, because they, of course, Taylor Swift is what they'd call anti-fragile, and she doesn't have to say anything. Yeah. She could ignore every request from a fan to speak on politics, and it would never matter. All right, guys, let's move on. We got a $20 super chat here from Will Ham. Thank you. Says, let's not forget most of these artists don't actually own the music, or they've already sold the clip to whatever service. It's actually crazy. Like, I was like, Justin Bieber recently sold his catalog a couple years ago. And then who was the other one recently that also sold their catalog for like $200 million? And I was like, I was always under the impression that they didn't own any of this stuff. So how are they selling their catalog? But it's because artists of that size can buy it back as they can buy their stuff as they go. I was like badgering Phil with questions one day. I'm like, can you like clarify this for me? Because it doesn't make any sense.
You'll see a lot of that unreleased stuff too, stuff that didn't go on the actual album that ended up being whatever the record label bought. So they have all these, prototypes, for lack of better words, in the works that they'll just release it, sell it, whatever.
All right, guys, let's move on. Let's talk about Warner Brothers a little bit. Now, I will try to not get too in the weeds on all this stuff, so I will exposition dump everything to start so you can kind of understand where we're coming from here. This was discussed on IRL on Friday night after Netflix decided not to move forward with their purchase of Warner Brothers. But this is what it's looking about like for Paramount after they defeated Netflix in their purchase of Warner Brothers. Remember, this hasn't passed regulatory approval yet. It's still very much early days. All that's really happened is that Warner Brothers has exited its one-on-one negotiations with Netflix and is now entering into negotiations with Paramount. So this is what it is. $111 billion deal, all cash, $31 a share, $46 billion of it coming from the Ellison's private trust, which is insane. The rest of it coming from debt financing, coming from major American corporations. The actual debt that Paramount has was just downgraded to junk because of how much this is strapping them for cash. If you want a comparison, it was about $40 billion worth of debt financing for Disney to buy Fox, which many would argue they haven't even really made the money back on their return of investment there, and they're taking on Warner Brothers' existing debt of like $33 billion, and they paid the $2.8 billion breakup fee that they had to do their deal between Netflix and Warner Brothers. So they basically paid Netflix for Warner Brothers leaving the negotiations. Netflix decided not to respond. So now what are we talking about with things going forward? this is what it is. Paramount has revealed these details when it comes to their merger, because what we are looking at here, of course, everyone who's known anything about business or mergers or anything industry-wise knew this was coming. Layoffs. There are going to be a lot of layoffs coming down, and they're going to use words like synergy to make it sound less bad. But this is what it's going to be. HBO Max and Paramount will combine into one streaming service, which from what I understand will be a base of over 200 million subscribers, though that isn't really the metric they use anymore. Like Netflix has since stopped giving out their subscriber numbers. They focus more on minutes watched than they do on anything else, which is why you get bloated 67 minutes, 80-minute episodes of shows. So HBO Max and Paramount will be combined into one service. 15 movies per year from each studio with a 45-day theatrical window, which means 15 films from Warner Brothers, 15 films from Paramount. The merged company will have approximately $79 billion in debt that they now have to pare down.
That's nuts.
$6 billion in cost-cutting measures that is going to be consolidating on tech infrastructure, real estate, and corporate overheads. What that means is people with the same job title, somebody's getting fired.
Right.
And you can assume that it's most likely going to be the Warner Brothers people, because there's already suspicion coming from everybody involved on the Warner Brothers side. You know, over at CNN, they're not exactly loving the idea of going to work for the Ellisons, or even worse, Barry Weiss, which I'm sure all of them would hate. I'm sure Anderson Cooper is plenty upset right now. There are no plans to sell or spin off any of the cable assets, which is the difference between Netflix. Netflix only wanted the studio and the streaming service. Paramount got everything, and they will continue to license out movies and shows to other streaming services, because that's a way they can start making money back on all of the debt they have, is to lease out that's exactly what you want.
I'm just sick of streaming services.
I hate it when streaming services limit their stuff to only their streaming site. Like, the best thing that HBO Max ever did was to start licensing their content out to other places again.
Except you still can't find Westworld anywhere.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Well, no.
It might be on, like, Tubi or
It's on
something.
free. I think that was one of the ones. That was one of their initial investments after the later seasons bombed. It moved to Fast, which is free ad supported.
Right.
So it's probably on Tubi or something like that.
Right.
With ads.
What's interesting here is, one, I think this is them pivoting in an AI future, which people are gonna hate.
Well, they mentioned that in here. They're like, AI will be used to enhance artists, not replace them, which is just corporate speak.
The fact they bought everything means they own the IP. You can cut these studios down largely, and people that think that's not possible, just look at the stuff coming out from C-Dance right now. You're getting movie quality that's almost indistinguishable from what real studios are putting out. It's given another year, give it 2 years, and it's going to be here. You're going to see the first major television shows, the first major movies with heavy AI that's just bridging. Like, remember when CGI became really popular? People gave it a lot of shit, and now look at it. It's commonplace everywhere. That's going to happen with AI. They're going to use the likenesses for the actors. They're going to use the IP that they own and have AI fill in the gaps. The other thing I wanted to mention is what's interesting with Paramount is they own the UFC now.
Yes.
And I don't.
There's no way they're ever going to make their money back on that. They spent $7 billion on
Dude.
UFC. That's how do you make $7 billion?
Well, one, I think. I mean, you're spending $50 to $100 per UFC event before, when it was on pay-per-view. The average person was either streaming that on an illegal streaming service, or they weren't paying for it, right? And they're just like, oh, whatever, I'm not going to watch. Paramount at $10 a month, $15 a month, whatever it is, you've now opened the door for people to watch UFC every weekend, and all that ad revenue, baby. I actually don't think that's a bad investment. Huh?
Do they play with ads?
There's a ton of ads. They've increased the ad frequency on. If you're a UFC watcher, you know what I'm talking about. The ad frequency.
Then you can answer me this question, because we have Paramount. It's actually one of the ones that I use the most.
Well, it's because we get a good deal on it. My brother was like, I want Paramount. We're like, okay, and then he's like, we'll split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
We're like, heck yeah, that works, and paid for annual.
We don't have we have the ad free version. Like, does the ad free version still have ads when you watch UFC?
Yeah, because it's live coverage, live event.
See, that would piss me off.
And they do, what you're seeing a lot in these sporting events is they're not just doing like commercial breaks. They're doing those, but they're also doing like L-wraps and like lower thirds. So like the actual program will go into a tiny box. So
WWE is doing this too.
Every sporting event's doing this. So you're getting ads throughout the whole thing. Plus they sell, if you look at the UFC Octagon, they sell ads all over the floor that you see with every camera. So like, I actually don't think the $7 billion was a bad purchase. I actually think that was really good. and now you're putting all those eyes in front of anyone that owned, was it HBO Max?
Yeah.
Anyone that owned, I'm sure CNN has like a CNN Plus or whatever. All those new viewers that you're now bringing in are new eyeballs on these products, and you leverage that against even higher ad rates.
So they're saying that they're gonna they're gonna be looking for cuts for the Warner Brothers production teams, which makes up about 7,500 of the 35,000 Warner Brothers employees. And everybody knows that the ones to go are the ones that work for the company that got bought, not the ones who did the buying, because they trust the people that worked for them in the first place, not the people they're going in there who might have had loyalty towards a different company, right? I look at all this stuff now, and I'm with you, which is that there's already, in a lot of ways, there's so many streaming services, but consolidation isn't a good thing. Like, I don't want to see less options for people. I want to see more.
But I would agree. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I would agree with you if Netflix and all these other services didn't keep raising their prices year after year. Consolidation is the answer right now, because all these they're all just getting insane.
Then you have less choices, and they can keep raising the prices because you can't do anything.
It's a fallacy, though. Like, no, people don't actually want more choices. They've done studies on this, and the more choices you have, the less happy you are.
I mean, here's the thing. I have like a list of shows that I have to watch on ad-free Tubi.
That's what we call it.
Which is, if you know, you know. But the point is it's all stuff that can't be found on any streaming service. The only way to find it on a streaming service is to buy it or rent it, and I'm not doing that.
You don't want to bring back physical media? You, of all people, I would imagine, would have some kind of collection of physical media.
You do.
I do at home.
Okay.
But not like back in Minnesota, I have a large collection of physical media. But most of that is like, I don't want to go through the hassle of having to take a DVD out every time.
Oh.
See, I would do it for the fact that we're using the physical media. I love physical media. If we had more of it, you guys know this, Brett's mentioned this on the show, I like The West Wing. I don't care if it's liberal garbage slop. I still like it.
It is liberal garbage slop.
It is. I'll admit that, but I like the show. I like the characters. And I have the whole collection. Like, someone gave it to me. It was like somebody else's, and they were like, here, just take it. We're like cleaning out their house. I was like, sweet. So I now have like a box collection, and I don't have a DVD player because those are hard to come by.
You have it, but you don't even have a way to watch it.
I want a DVD
Yard
player.
sales, dude. You can find
Thrift stores too.
My birthday's next month. Brett.
Their stores,
My birthday's next month.
yard sales, like DVDs are. I mean, people just find them collecting dust, like, oh, whatever, give them away for $1.
Yeah.
The only way that I would want that is that one thing that streaming services don't have is they don't have the bonus features that came on season DVDs.
Yes.
So not having the audio commentary versions of episodes that I love is another reason to have an MB server where you can rip stuff directly from a DVD, and then you can rip both versions. Yes,
in Minecraft.
So you can rip both versions, and then, well, technically you're not stealing. You're ripping it from a video. No, you're actually ripping a copy from a DVD that you bought.
You wouldn't download a car, Brett.
Yes, I would. If I could, I would absolutely download a car. So if there was a streaming service that went out of its way to buy out the DVD features for some of these movies and television shows, because they would, I'm assuming that they would have to charge extra, like if you're buying like Batman and then you're getting all of the audio commentaries, then Warner Brothers is going to charge you extra for the other version.
That sounds like something YouTube should do, like just get into a licensing deal for just the bonus content.
Ooh, yeah.
This seems like a slam dunk, because how much of this bonus content, it's not 2 hours long usually. Like if you put it all together, it's maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that seems a lot.
I mean, no, but if it's full episodes of a show, it's more than that.
That's true.
If it's just audio commentary from full episodes of a show, that's way different.
Yeah.
And they, now most seasons don't have every episode doing that. They have a couple of episodes, usually the really, really big successful ones. They go back and have the stars of those episodes, the directors go back and do audio commentaries for the ones that really, really matter. It says Ellison reaffirmed his goal of $6 billion in synergies. That's the word, because corpo speak is not how human beings actually talk.
How big is his trust? You said he 52 million of his own trust?
I mean, it's the Ellison family trust, so
$1
it's not his. It's
but how big
family's.
is that?
I don't know.
Is it public?
Somebody could look it up. I don't know
how
big something like that is. But they've got a lot of money. says if Paramount achieves regulatory approval for its acquisition of Warner Brothers, including HBO Max, CNN, and thousands of Warner Brothers film titles, that's the big part of it there, is getting access to all of the sound stages, and they now have access to all of the most incredible IP over the last 100 years outside of the stuff going on at Disney, which has acquired Fox as well. I'd be interested in, like, what do you think about CNN going there? Because we kind of got into it on Friday. I've kind of felt for a while that CNN hasn't been the same CNN that it was 10 years ago anyways, but they're not happy.
I don't know. I remember, growing up, you learn about like bias, and I remember they're like, news is a good example of what it means to be unbiased.
Yeah.
You're just reporting the facts,
Yeah.
and now here we are in 2026, and it's like, well, you pick your political propaganda
On both sides.
on
Yeah.
both sides,
yeah.
and it's just like that's why, like, shout out to Steve Lookner, who's always holding it down, monitoring the situation. He literally is just like, this thing happened, these people said this thing, and he's like, really doesn't offer his own opinion or any of that. It's just, this is the fact. It's very black and white. Make of it what you will.
Yeah.
So like CNN, I mean, I hope this is a course correction for them, because nobody. Like, again, it's like with the KESHA thing that we just talked about. You're only going to alienate people. You're not gaining fans when you spew this tribal, opinionated slop. Yeah. And so if they got back to, like, what you're talking about, the airport CNN from 15 years ago, where it's like, here's a live camera of Tehran and Iran. As
That's
the US,
longer than 15 years ago, man.
maybe.
That's 20 years ago now.
Sure. I mean, but if they got back to that, I think it's a viable product.
If for no other reason than I feel like people who are what did they mention in that, like, cortisol spikes.
Cortisol
Basically,
maxing.
like, people are looking to be less freaked out by the news, but all of the data over the last 20 years has told them that that's not a way to make money. Like, you don't make money by making people less scared, unfortunately.
But I think it's curation, not. So curation's the key, and I think that the stories they choose to cover would be the solution to that problem that you're talking about. Instead, they take the news that everyone's talking about and say, how can we add our spin to it?
Yeah.
And I think that's...
So, like, what type of stories will, like, okay, so, like, looking at the news you've looked at today, what should they have covered that they didn't?
Like today,
Yeah.
right? So with Iran, obviously, is the big story of the weekend, still the big story of this week. And rather than focusing on the actual ground and day-to-day developments in Iran, they're more focused on what Trump is saying about it, or how his actions...
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, it's just hyper focused on Trump. We get it. He's the president. But, like, just tell us about the troop movements. Just tell us about the planes that are flying through the air. Tell us about which countries and which locations have been hit by missiles. And
yeah, no, exactly. And there are other things going on. Obviously, like, the world didn't just stop going. When we do pre-show, we find these other links and we try to, like, fill it in a little bit more, because obviously Tim will focus on Iran. And so there's tons of stuff going on. But they want to cover, Iran, Trump said something. And instead of just playing his speech in full, they'll chop it up so that they can be like, how dare he? How dare he say this thing, or how dare he do this thing? Yeah. And there's no quality in news reporting anymore unless it's independent media. Like
even
Tim does.
independent media has to live and die on their ability to get views and stuff like that. Like the person you mentioned earlier, it might be the rare exception of somebody who's there to give you just information.
Sure.
But usually that's somebody who has to they have a job outside of what they're doing, because it's not a sane business model.
But that's why I think curation is the key, not being a spin doctor, right? Because, like, for example, for Timcast, like, the stories we choose, obviously we want to talk about stuff that people are interested in, but if there's no news, we're not going to try to spin something to make it more appealing or sexy, right? That's just, like, if it's a boring story that no one really cares about, then we're not going to talk about it.
That actually happens a lot of times when we're like, when they do pre-production for IRL, they're like, they'll go around the room. I mean, if it's Tim, he's picking the stories, whatever.
Yeah.
But otherwise, me and you or whoever's there on that day, if it's on a day when I'm on, we'll be suggesting stories, and then Phil or somebody will be like, yeah, but I don't know, like, what you say about this other than just it happened.
Well, that happened last night with Hillary. There's videos of Hillary getting upset and threatening to storm out of her Epstein hearing. And I'm like, but what do you say about this other than, like, 2 minutes of conversation?
I mean, my dream podcast.
Oh, here we go.
My dream
Lay out
podcast,
the pitch.
Yes,
Tell us.
My dream podcast is called Derailed. And the whole point is that you get as far away from whatever the topic is as quickly as possible. Because that, to me, is like most of the time, if you are somebody who's got a very niche interest, or you've got a specialty, maybe you worked in the government and now you have a podcast talking about government or something like that, it requires an insane amount of research and editing, because you have to put everything together. You have to put visual assets together. Now, if you're just doing conversations, and I guess Joe Rogan might be the definition of somebody who's kind of that way.
I was thinking more of like, you're talking about the average bar conversation.
Yes, yeah. The point is like, the conversation is a jumping off point, but this is something that I struggle with most days. One of the reasons I found myself gravitating towards individual videos as opposed to doing, like, there are videos that I choose to do as segments on my own, because I know that if we're doing it in the context of this, it's going to get away from the point.
Yeah.
And that's the point, right? Which is that if I want to talk about Paramount having layoffs, well, it takes 2 minutes to tell you what those layoffs might be. But that's not necessarily the most interesting thing to everybody else. The point is to go, okay, how do you feel about Paramount combining with CNN? You know, when you think of mergers and acquisitions, you know, have you ever worked in an environment where something like that has happened? Who gets framed as the bad guy? What does this mean for one of the companies like that? I would rather just, you know, here's the topic and then just go wherever your brain goes. But my brain is always fighting to stay on topic.
Right.
And it doesn't always win. In fact, it loses out on that. There was a comment left on the channel today that says, I love Brett's word salad, because sometimes I just go.
You have to. You have to sometimes.
Yeah.
And to kind of like loop this back and to land this plane with CNN, I'm optimistic that they will shift gears and at least make it marginally better, because if you look at what happened with CBS News and Barry Weiss, it's not perfect. It's not that different, but it's improved. They're making strides toward.
Has that helped its numbers?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I don't have the raw data for you, but I think everyone's happy with what's going on at CBS and happy with Barry, the changes that she's making, and it just seems more fair. It seems more balanced, less hysterical, and that's like, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on. A lot of times when you like tune in to CNN or MSNBC or even some of the Fox News programs, it just seems hysterical.
Fox is just as bad. I mean, if I have to hear Tucker Carlson talking about sexy white go-go boots, then, you know.
At least that was entertaining.
But the thing is, it's still absurd.
But we still reference that, though. It's memorable. It is something that, because I found this thing at a thrift shop. It's literally like the old style green M&M, and it's a dispenser.
Oh, okay.
And so now we have it, and every time we like see it, he'll go, oh, like sexy green. Yeah,
sexy.
So funny.
Well, she got
funny.
upset because we were like, while we were walking through the thrift store, I was doing my Tucker Carlson, which is a bad Tucker Carlson, to be fair. But you know,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's a bad Tucker Carlson.
No, it was like the cadence was there. That lady definitely knew what you were doing. She knew.
Democrats aren't going to stop until we've gotten rid of all the sexy boots.
Yeah. Now I can't look at that thing the same anymore. I can't get an M&M in peace.
Have you watched a recent clip of anything Tucker's been doing?
No.
Nowadays, it seems like Tucker's doing an impression of himself.
Maybe he is.
Like, it's just going like the impression that you guys all have in your heads, everyone listening at home. It just seems like he's leaning into that even more.
Yeah.
And he like cuts himself off, laughing at his own preposterous takes. And
all right.
Anyway.
Let's move on. We've got both cute and cringe of the day. I do have to ask you guys once again, if you would like to brag about your pets, you can go ahead and submit them for cute of the day on X. Tag me at Brett Dasovic on X to do that. Also, use the hashtag PCCPets. I know Elon Musk has said that hashtags are no longer necessary, but, you know, just to be safe, go ahead and do that. I have not put a Nepo kitty on the screen today. I do apologize.
And I'm a little bummed about that.
But this one is from Joshua. He submitted this one today. He says, not my cat, but I run into this orange guy in my apartment hallway sometimes.
Oh,
he's chill. That's a very cute cat.
He's like part orange. He probably has 50% orange behavior.
So you hate dogs, is what you're saying?
That's what she's saying.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's what I'm saying is me, the dog sitter, hates dogs. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, mostly cat sitting sometimes.
But I've had quasi, like growing up, we did dog sitting. I've quasi had like 30 different dogs in my life. I like most dogs. Cats are just, when you're a college student,
They're easier.
Easier to manage. And now we've got the 3. And when we have a house and a yard, we can get a dog. Yep. That's my rule, is if it has a yard to run in, we're allowed to get a dog.
You guys are out in West Virginia. What about some like farm animals?
We're about to move to West Virginia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this area though, it doesn't. Like
could get some sheep,
like
horses.
Yes.
My neighbors,
cows.
There's a couple donkeys and
a
couple horses.
I want baby goats, like little mini goats.
Oh, those will destroy your life.
I don't care.
They'll
They're so cute. I'll still do it.
I'm gonna see if we can adopt Punch.
Yeah.
The monkey.
All right, cringe of the day is back. As you guys know, I don't usually do cringe of the day when Mary's not here because I don't like making you guys suffer. But Olivia loves to submit cringe.
I like it.
I'm so sorry.
So here
This
we
one
go,
is bad.
ladies and gentlemen.
This one's really bad.
How to use less fat-phobic language. Instead of saying, have you seen how much weight she's put on? Try this instead. Instead of saying, oh, I feel so fat. Try this instead. Instead of saying, well, it's okay if you're fat. It's just if I'm fat, I think it's gross. Try this instead. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Instead of saying, well, I'm not really interested in dating plus-size women because I'm really looking for a partner who really values her health. Try this instead.
Very valid concern.
I thought,
Instead of
she had me the first half of the show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she seems self-aware.
Yeah.
No.
But no.
She's making fun of
saying,
people.
it's all about
Is
moderation.
she one of the plus-size park hoppers?
No, but she could join them.
Because at first I was like, oh, she's making fun of, like, it's not that big of a deal when people
No.
make comments. Like, I'm aware that
No.
I'm a larger person.
Nope.
No?
Try this instead. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Instead of saying, you wear your weight so well, try this instead. Mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. A kit'll eat ivy too, wouldn't you? Instead of saying, have you ever considered trying a
entirely too long.
GLP-1?
I know.
Yeah, when
Try this instead.
These videos are good with like a tight 45-second window.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the worst part is it keeps going.
Oh my god. Now she's just desperate for internet clout.
I thought same thing when I first saw it. I was like, oh, she's like making fun of people who like don't, whatever. And once you get to like the fourth one, you're like, oh, she's serious. Like
Yep.
she's serious. So
That was pretty good.
yeah, thank you.
No fat.
Excellent
ladies and
cringe.
gentlemen. Like I
You
said,
know-
Thank you.
when they make Baywatch, when Baywatch comes out, no fatties. Look, if some Adonis of a lifeguard happens to have a fat mom or dad, that's acceptable. But there better not be any fat lifeguards on Baywatch.
No
And
fatties.
because I'm fair, there should be no skinny noodle armed lifeguards either.
Toned. Gotta be
Right?
toned.
Just only sexy people.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should, and they should all look like Brock Lesnar when he did the F5 to that shark in that one WWE skit. That's what they should look like. All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Glen Powell. Now, this one hurts. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that I think very highly of Glen Powell. I still do. I think that this was a huge misstep for his career, but he was essentially what many might call the protege of Tom Cruise. He seemed to take a fairly apolitical approach to his movie making, and he seemed to find the right projects to work on to not box him into the same camp as people who seem to rely on Marvel movies for their notoriety. And as we know, Tom Cruise has a very apolitical persona that a lot of people have glommed onto and are very supportive of in the current climate, because for the most part, when it comes down to it, people are sick of being lectured by actors. Twisters itself as a movie felt like kind of maybe not a love letter to middle America, but at the very least it didn't feel like it kind of turned its nose up at middle America and had a lot of heart to it. I enjoyed it. But now that's not going to work because he has a new movie that just came out called How to Make a Killing. It's an A24 movie, which was strike number 1 because A24 is garbage, and it opened in 6th place, which is strike number 2, and it made like $6 million in its first 2 weeks. 55% drop in its second week, despite the fact that it actually added screens to its showings, which is strike number 3. And here's the problem. It's not even necessarily what I would call his fault. He is a victim, as so many of these celebrities are, to an interviewer who you guys know my belief. I believe that every interviewer in Hollywood secretly hates all the actors, and all they want is to get them to say shit that they know will get them in trouble. But he's talking about how his new movie, How to Make a Killing, is for people that are pissed off at billionaires.
Yes.
Remember, billionaire, as I've said endlessly on the show, billionaire is now a slur. It's used almost exclusively by poor people and millionaires so that the millionaires can put, for lack of better words, pass the buck off on billionaires so that the rest of us, the poors, can hate the billionaires with the millionaires. We did a segment last week about how, who's the Hulk? Mark Ruffalo was saying, tax the rich. They can take it. Bro, you're the rich. Okay? He says, tax the billionaires and the corporations. They can take it. Glen Powell is now falling victim to this as well. Let's listen to this interview quote. And I do want to, again, point out, we're going to give him a little bit of grace because he was led by this interview.
It's more of like a delirious, fun fantasy of if instead of taking from the rich, Robin Hood just killed them. I feel like it's just like wish fulfillment for people who are pissed off at billionaires.
Right? Yeah. Your brain is poetry, man. That's really what our movie's about.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm stealing that.
Especially as we're assaulted with the demonstration of wealth and lifestyle, I think there's a seed of anger and resentment that starts building up, and it sort of creates an ideation of fantasy, and that's that fantasy you're talking about. It's like, I don't even just want to steal from them, I want to kill them. Like, and that's really what this movie's about. It's like the idea of this sort of dark, perverted thing that exists in all of us. That's why I think people do watch true crime and people watch all these things.
Okay, people don't watch true crime because they want something bad to happen to somebody
No,
else.
they secretly, connect with the killers.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, if that, but also like because out of like, I still believe that women love true crime because oftentimes there aren't any answers and they're.
I just think the
along
sense
for the
of
ride.
danger is thrilling. If we're talking about women in true crime, I'm honestly astonished they're just saying that out in the open. Like,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
do you remember the what's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio that just came out last year? One Battle After Another. I tried. I got 10 minutes of that movie and had to turn it off.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Why do you guys continue? And maybe they've got their heads so far up their own butts that they don't realize that this is not a popular take on the world.
No,
this is not a popular opinion.
Whenever I see people talk about whenever an actor does something smart, I'm out. My initial instinct is always accident.
Maybe
They didn't do it on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
outside of Tom Cruise, who is very good at, dodging those types of questions, if an actor, and this is also because conservatives, like, they get really excited every time an actor says something not entirely stupid. They're like, you know what? I always like the cut of that guy's jib. He seems like a good guy. That's the problem, right? They're too ready to be like,
Yeah.
you know what? He's pretty smart. No, if they get it right, 90% of the time, it's on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, $20 super chat here from Shane H. Wilder says, this is definitely an Olivia cringe. Mary cringe makes me laugh with the sense of Schadenfreude at the tards in the video. Olivia cringe makes me question the decision I made in life to bring me to this point in my life.
Cool. I'm doing my job if that's what that's what happens every time. I screws up my algorithm for a good week. That one I found in the wild, but normally
I always tell you
screws up.
I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I don't need the cringe. But the point I want to get back to making is that don't fall for this trap that they've put into you. There's the joke has always been for years that Bernie Sanders stopped saying millionaires and billionaires because he became a millionaire and then started saying exclusively billionaires. And this is one of the most obvious examples put right in front of you of the rich, in which millionaires do count as the rich. Do not let them tell you otherwise. Passing off the buck onto the billionaires, saying, look, be mad at these people, when really you should not take the approach of being a have-not in a world of haves anyways, because it's poison for your psyche.
And then shocker, when you placate to the radical people like the Luigi Mangione stands, shocker, they don't show out. It's not lucrative.
They don't like people that hate the rich are shockingly not willing to spend money on movies.
Well, and the craziest thing, like you were saying, people are so quick to be like, oh, that's our guy. He said something cool. They're also, on the flip side, so quick to cancel.
Yeah.
Like this whole incident, I just reminds you of the incident with Smoothie King yesterday.
Okay, what happened?
So there was somebody that went into a...
I hate this.
You guys. Woo! Okay.
Oh, dude.
But
I'm
so fast.
not gonna lie,
Holy
I'm
crap.
dead to it now. Like,
I'm sure I
So
scared the
I'll give you an
shit out of me.
example
Oh my
of
gosh.
actually, and it might.
Woo.
Hold on, we gotta wait and see if it resets because
Please
sometimes
don't.
it restarts.
Woo.
So hold on, you gotta.
Thank you,
You're not
guys.
safe. You're not safe.
Why do you
until
have
the
like?
lights.
Why is it like there's police lights now?
I know, right?
Thank
okay.
you guys for the crisis party.
But like now you'll see that there are days where where like a crisis party goes off and I look dead inside where I flinch, but I go.
I was gonna dance, but it took me so off guard that it scared me into not dancing. I planned on dancing. Woo! Okay, back to Smoothie King. Smoothie King. There was in Ann Arbor. If you know Ann Arbor, then you know it's like a liberal cesspool. But they refused to serve a guy because he had a Trump like hoodie on.
Okay.
And everyone was like, cancel them. But they quickly came out and were like, we're talking to the franchise owner and we're like trying to fix this, and the employees were let go. And people were already like on the right trending, like boycott them. I was like, they did everything they could.
Yeah.
Like,
What's happened at the hotel, right? With ICE agents staying at the hotel at Hilton.
Hey, we stayed at a Hilton right after that because I was like, heck yeah. And it was good. It was actually a really nice hotel. Like,
Remember, you don't remember that when like some
it was in a Hampton Inn, which is owned by Hilton.
Oh,
The
wait.
Hampton Inn, where they said they couldn't allow like federal agents
Yeah,
to stay there.
it was like it wasn't. It was some kind of licensing thing, and they got stripped of that immediately after.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
Yeah.
but it's like they're so quick to like jump on it and be like, let's cancel them or let's like revere them, and like, you know, don't be like, give them time to write that. Now with Glen Powell, I mean, he probably doesn't know what the hell he's saying half the time. Like most of them don't. I just can't give them the credit of that kind of intelligence. I just think that's rare.
And that's my point, is like when they get it right most of the time, I think it's an accident. I don't think it's a targeted like, this guy's on our side or he secretly believes the same things we do. I think that they made Twisters. It was largely a very good movie. It came off of Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, which was of course a Tom Cruise vehicle, for lack of better words, and he is at the very least on his face very good at staying apolitical when he's marketing his movies. Now, the reason it became a thing to talk about how Glen Powell was like a protege of Tom Cruise is, I wish I should have, if I'd been doing my job properly, I'd have had this clip pulled up where they're posing for Twisters. Tom Cruise is with them at the movie premiere, and they're standing like there with like their sodas and their popcorn buckets, and Tom Cruise like pushes the popcorn bucket in his hand up so that you can see the logo better. It's like it comes second nature to him to tell Glen Powell to push the popcorn bucket up, make sure they can see it. And of course they work together on Maverick. So that's where people got this idea. And I'm still team Glen Powell. In fact, I'm loving him in Scream Queens, which Olivia hates.
I hate that show.
I don't even know what that is either.
It's amazing. It's Emma Roberts' best work.
What is it? It sounds terrible. Scream Queens.
It's a serial killer is trying to murder the worst people on planet Earth at a college campus.
But you're making it sound better than it actually is.
No, I'm underselling.
All the characters are like bimbo, like and then the Glen Powell character, they just say like the stupidest stuff. It was funny because Mary was like, oh, I think Olivia would really like it. And so I'm sitting there with Brett trying to watch it, and I was like, I can't. It's so stupid. I can't take it seriously.
See, the thing is, though, I hate characters that are awful people when the show clearly wants you to like them. You're not supposed to like anybody in this show.
You don't like anti-heroes?
No, it's not the same thing. In the context, I'm saying like when a character is made as like annoying and snarky, but they're still considered the good guy, I can't abide by the idea that somebody who's snarky to other people is somehow the good guy when it's written like it's like the most pissed off gay person that you've ever met wrote the character.
Well, it reminds me of Karen from Mean Girls. All the characters are just Karen from Mean Girls, the really dumb one. That's what they're all like.
Yeah, it's
and
awesome.
it's hard to like. It's funny when it's one character. When it's all of them, it's exhausting.
But the point is for Glen Powell is it's not working for him. It's falling through. The new A24 thriller, let me put this up on screen if anybody's looking for my sourcing here. The new A24 thriller, which stars Glen Powell as a man killing off his estranged wealthy family in order to get their inheritance, is a loose remake of the 1949 classic Kind Hearts and Coronets. The 2026 How to Make a Killing debuted at number 6 on the weekend of February the 20th with a per-screen average of just $2,146, which is unusually low for an A24 movie. Per Deadline on Sunday morning, How to Make a Killing is projected to earn a 3-day total of just $1.56 million at the domestic box office by the end of its sophomore weekend. That total sees it slumping with a week-to-week drop of 55%. Well, I will tell you what will not sell people on your movie, and that's lame, eat the rich BS.
Well, hold on, because the plot that you just read was he was killing off his wealthy family so he could
become a millionaire.
become wealthy.
Yes.
So it just seems very on the nose.
It's so stupid.
That Do they know? Was that press conference clip that you showed us? Is that like satire?
I don't think so.
No, I think they're serious, unfortunately. And of course it's A24, so Brett, you already have some.
I didn't
That's
necessarily.
true.
Animosity.
That's true. I'm
Yeah.
automatically predisposed to hating it if it's made by A24.
You do.
Why? They put out a few okay ones.
Because A24 fans are the most annoying people on earth.
They're good at horror movies.
They're
though,
almost
right?
as bad as Apple TV fans.
Oh jeez.
Which is
TV's
Kellen,
got
of
some
course.
good show. I've been clean from Apple TV.
How long has it been?
It's been like probably close to a year now.
Wow, I'm really proud of you.
Whenever the big show. Oh no,
Severance?
not that long. So maybe like 7 months.
That's okay.
Severance is
Okay.
good.
I can't, man.
I haven't
You don't like
watched,
Severance?
I haven't watched it because Brett won't.
I'm not buying
It's
Apple
really
TV.
good.
Yeah.
You want to buy Apple TV? We can watch it. But I'm not.
it's-
I'm not getting my. I would get Peacock again.
Do you have
before I would-
No.
T-Mobile?
No,
No, you get it
Verizon.
for free.
Do you? Okay, so here's the thing. I think that this type of storytelling is a failure on its face. Did you? Is there a movie in this realm? Like you said you turned off One Battle After Another like right away, right? Like
Right.
movies like this, like Don't Look Up was kind of popular on Netflix, I guess.
I remember that one. That one was more goofy and like
Yes.
happy-go-lucky. So it was. I don't know. That one was more tolerable because it's just supposed to be goofy and silly and just.
The other thing that they have to contend with here is just the fact that perhaps Glen Powell just isn't a box office hit. Or it could be that it's not the right movie for him. So the same thing happened with Sydney Sweeney. When she makes lesbian boxing movies, nobody comes out to watch
True,
it.
true.
But if you make The Housemaid, people show up.
Well, shocker, when you make a movie for like 1% of the population,
Only like half a percent.
people don't
comes
go and
out.
see
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It's not like I don't understand what they don't get about this. I don't know. Maybe someone's just bankrolling it who is super artsy fartsy and is like, this is a story that needs to be told, and we're gonna have great actors so people come and see it. But it just doesn't translate. There's a reason Top Gun 2 did massive numbers because it's awesome. You just got planes flying through the sky, shooting at each other. It's great. It's the reason why all the Jurassic Park movies continue to sell, even though I think all the new ones are garbage.
Well, the most recent one made a ton of money, but not comparatively to the Chris Pratt or even the obviously the original trilogy. But
It's
still,
but it's just like you put dinosaurs and add like a terror fear element to it. Awesome concept.
Yes. We got a $20 super chat here from Kyle Dixon, which is very important, which I always like to mention to people. I'd like to point out that Robin Hood took from the tax collector and gave to the dispossessed, not the rich. Yes, not from the rich, but the guy who takes your taxes. Nobody. It's like when I watched a couple episodes of The Chosen, and there was like a tax collector that everybody hated. It's like, man, the Bible was right. Apparently.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move on. Let's talk about Gen Z. I've got two Gen Zers with me today.
Let's go.
So let's talk about this. Study finds Gen Z and Gen Alpha want to see caring, affectionate dads and vulnerable men on screen. Personally, I think this is all a lie. I think they made this whole study up. That's just my personal opinion. They cooked the books. There's no way this is accurate, but let's go through it here.
Okay.
It says a new study from the Center for Scholars and Storytellers at UCLA
Is that
claims
real?
that's a real thing apparently. Claims that young audiences aged 10 to 24 are rejecting outdated masculine stereotypes on screen and instead want to see caring, affectionate dads and vulnerable men in movies and television. I'm going to put it on screen so people know that I'm not lying about this. The study titled Gen Alpha and Gen Z Evolving Masculinity surveyed 1,500 adolescents across the United States to understand what today's youth want to see when it comes to men on screen. According to the study, there is a... How can you say universal desire? I disagree. Therefore, I guess I'm not Gen Z, so...
Well, I disagree.
There,
so there
see,
you
it's
go.
not universal. Liars. It says, according to the study, there is a universal desire among the respondents. Okay, it says among the respondents. To see boys and men on screen moving away from classic, strong, silent hero archetypes and towards vulnerability, affection, and connection. So I guess action movies are just out of the...
I call bullshit.
It goes on. It goes on.
Oh, yeah.
It goes on. Joyful Fatherhood was the single most requested portrayal of masculinity by adolescents surveyed by the researchers, with nearly 60% of the young people asking to see more fathers openly showing love and enjoying parenting. Now, there is an argument to be made here that could be 110% real, because there has been an epidemic of TV shows with awful dads, or at the very least, stupid dads.
Yeah, but that's to demonize men. And so, like, that's, to me, that's them demonizing men. That's not them trying to make fathers look bad, but just men in general.
That's what I thought. I was like, are they spinning this because people are unhappy with the current way men are portrayed? But if they're outright rejecting like the badass hero, then I don't have any answers.
Okay, so let's go through it first. So the idea that they want to see vulnerable men on screen, does that appeal to either of them?
This is obviously a study conducted by women, analyzed by women, and then written by women. Because when women tell you what they want men, do not listen to them. They are setting you up to fail.
Whenever Olivia says anything, I just say no.
Yeah, exactly. It's brilliant.
Yes, brilliant strategy.
When they tell you to cry and be sensitive and open, do not do it. It is a trap.
Yep.
Yeah, there are select times in a man's life where if they cry, I'm like, okay, acceptable, understandable. But if they're like, oh, I didn't get the raise I wanted and it's so sad, I am literally like cringing thinking about it.
I
like,
actually tell Olivia when she's allowed to cry. That's what.
Good.
Well, like it's no, it's
Keep
one
her
of
in
those.
the house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said he let me out today. I said you guys got to get more crisis
Yeah,
parties.
you know what? Yeah, come
I
here.
said, you know what? More crisis parties, or I'm not allowed back
You guys
out of the house.
can't see it. She's
Like,
actually got an ankle monitor.
I do.
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
chained her.
She
to
gets
the,
too
I
far.
The chain was too loud. Chain was too loud. You had to break it.
Before you go on, we got a 20 here from Corey Anderson. Says, BS, look at the photo of the author. Of course he would be against masculine.
Oh no, I was wrong about the women take. Can you zoom in?
Oh, you know what? Close enough.
It looks
though.
like the Karen
Close
meme
enough,
from
though.
here. You know the HR
Oh my gosh, wait,
Karen
why is his
meme?
mouth like that? Is that like Photoshop or is that real?
I can't get full screen here. Oh, wait, actually, I
up.
think I might be able to. Hold on. Yeah.
Oh, looks like what? It looks like those.
mouth,
Have you seen those Japanese people that walk around with the human like masks? And it's
Yeah.
like some kind of fetish
yeah,
for them.
that's what it looks
That's what
like.
it looks like.
Yeah, no, I would say like, I think that the best portrayal of fathers is strong fathers that enjoy parenting, they love parenting, but tough love, and they protect their families, and so they don't always show that, but that's how they show their love.
Dads on TV should be out the house at 6 and they shouldn't get back until the kids are in
But
bed
if we're
for the
talking
night.
about like
Yeah.
how they love their family, there's nothing more loving a father can do than protect his family, and there's nothing that they can actually like portray better than strength, because if my dad wasn't a strong man, I wouldn't have come out, you know, somewhat a critical thinker and kind of normal, right? Like I would be one of these crazy leftists that, and because I have a good dad, I know you're watching, I'm semi-normal. I'm not like totally an idiot, and that's good. My dad protected our family in a lot of ways, and that's important, and he's still
I will say
Like
I
it.
like the notion of like bringing back strong. I don't know if they really report on it, but like strong family. Like,
yes,
like
100%.
head of the family roles, because that's
Yeah.
something even in these masculine roles that we're seeing in Hollywood. Hollywood has moved away from families.
Yes.
It's all about individualism now.
No.
so-
It's about found family. That's different.
Ah.
So they actually don't like the idea of individualism. What they like is the idea that you find your family in adulthood, and there's actual practical reasons for that, which is that it gives them a wider dynamic for casting, meaning that they don't have to
Okay.
all look like you. They can cast as wide of a net as possible.
Like going from an
and-
abusive house and then
Yes.
finding people in the inner city, and then you guys are just best
I mean,
friends.
on its face, that as a storytelling device, that makes perfect sense. Because if you want to write character, which is funny because they end up just casting people that look different, but everybody's kind of written the same.
Right.
But the idea is a good idea, which is like, okay, so this guy, he doesn't really get, or girl, they don't get along with their families, so now they do something for a living. Maybe they're a spy, or maybe they work in the, you know.
That's
they-
like every Lifetime movie ever.
Yeah.
Yes. But the point is then they got the quirky best friend.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch of different archetypes that represent their friend group, and it's different because they can engage in the family dynamics without having it be actual family.
You know what movie I like? Nobody with.
I never saw it.
Oh, he's just a guy trying to take care of his family. People are always trying to rough him up, and he goes John Wick on everybody and just kicks ass for 2 hours.
I was thinking
Heck
of
yeah.
Nowhere. So one example that me and Olivia would always give is Danny from Blue Bloods is probably the last real television character on network television, at least that I can think of, where he was, he was working a lot. That was the quintessential
But
problem.
he did it for his family. He
He's
did
a-
it to work, and I mean, he's also a workaholic. But he did
Yeah.
it because he loves his job, and he would work overtime. He'd say, "I have to take more shifts because we need it. We need
Yeah,
the
but
money."
okay. So, but there was actually a scene later on where he gets offered a job working private security. So he could have taken retirement and then gone and worked private security for this guy who was going to pay him like triple what he was making as a detective in New York, and he doesn't do it because he wouldn't be with too much.
But he wouldn't have been with his family.
Your family.
Yeah.
He also said not just that, but they said you'd be traveling most of the time, and he said,
Yes.
well, I don't want to do that either. And he is a strong father. He's not only the portrayal of him as like a detective, kind of this like badass detective who has to go and way more gunfights than you would ever actually see, but that's okay. It's for TV. But he protects his family, and everything he does is for his family, especially it's been out for long enough. After his wife dies, he does so much
You're
for his
canceled
boys.
for not giving a real spoiler alert. On
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
it's been out long enough. He's already had a reboot now, so it's been long
That's
enough.
true.
And
I was watching a pod. I listen to almost exclusively like review podcasts of shows I've already seen from like a decade ago. Like I don't listen to anything that's current. I listen to podcasts.
Well, you just want to get angry?
No,
that sounds like a good way for me to get angry.
No, these are people that do rewatch or they do reviews of television shows.
I know. It's like if you like a show, that someone's shitting all over it.
No,
you know?
these I mean, people don't do those types of podcasts unless they really like the show, right?
Yeah.
So I'm listening to this one for the 12 Monkeys television series
Oh,
from
yeah,
2015,
yeah.
and they're like, spoiler alert for the movie. I'm like, 95 is past the statute of limitations. Like the movie came out 20 years ago.
I think like 10 years, 5-10 years, like with streaming services. Yeah.
So this survey goes on, and it gets worse. 46% of respondents are seeking content that shows men asking for help, including with their mental health. So they want you in your television show to be at the store, and instead of walking around aimlessly, they want men who are going to stop and ask the person working for help.
It's just unrealistic, though. That's the thing.
Dude,
is like, no.
I will get lost for 30 minutes in Home Depot before I dare ask anybody to show me. And you know what? Here's the other thing: is nobody knows anyway. Why go ask for help when none of these retail workers actually know what's going on in these stores? Nobody knows.
It's so fair.
If I ever have to go back and work a retail job again, it's gonna be a golden era for me because they don't have to dress up anymore and they get to wear headphones in their ear when they're working.
You can't tell if they're on the clock or not.
No.
You can't even tell if they work there or not.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the thing. The one time I do think about going to help, like, wait, do you work? No, you probably don't work here.
Well, when I worked at Target, you had to wear khaki and red, which is the worst color combo in
You didn't
history.
have to wear the Joanne's green apron, so I don't want you to
That's
complain.
not that bad. Aprons are like, because I've gone to Target and I've made the mistake of wearing a red shirt.
Yeah.
Ooh,
To this
rookie
day-
mistake. Rookie mistake.
Like you're wearing red today. Like, go to Target if you really want to punish yourself.
yeah.
You know, everyone's be like, "Excuse me, miss."
They do a thing where, like, I don't know if they still do this there, but they did at least a couple of years ago, where if you're working on the floor and you wear the walkie, it has like an automatic call when they need help up at front. They say like, back up.
Oh, I've
Kesha,
heard
to
it.
the
I've
front.
heard it, yeah.
My brain, it's like a Pavlovian response. I start walking to the front of the store.
Yeah.
Why? Did
Yeah.
you work at Target?
Because I worked at Target for 5 years.
Well, before Joanne's closed and I'd go in there to get something, I'd hear like the door to like the back room and instantly turn to see like who's there. If it's like a customer that shouldn't be going back there, like I would still do that, even though there's no reason. But I will say the green apron, not the worst thing of the color. That's what the color's not great, right? Not flattering to anybody.
Just the wrong kind of green.
It's the wrong kind of green, yeah.
So, okay, so the findings are part of the CSS's Teen Snapshot series, which aims to elevate youth voices and generate actionable research-based insights for storytellers and content creators seeking to authentically represent, positively impact, and capture the attention of young audiences. Look, it is true. Kellen is shaking his head right now. It is true, and so you have to ask a question: do you buy what they say or not? Because whenever people in conservative circles hear when they say that Gen Z wants to see less sex on screen, they're like, yeah, Gen Z's smart. They don't want to see that degenerate filth on screen. So are they telling the truth or are they not? I do think that there's a relevant answer here to the idea that they want to see dads being more engaged, right? Because they've spent 20 years of hands-off storytelling when it comes to dads, where it's Homer Simpson syndrome, where dad is a buffoon.
Do you think it's that, or do you think this is kind of like misguided, just like, right? Because for the last however many decades, it's been kind of a more feminized worldview that Hollywood puts out. And do you think this is just kind of desperation for anything but that? And so they think it's the sex and scenes. They think it's the lack of family figures.
Wait, what do you? Okay, explain that part again.
Like so, feminism largely with like everyone makes fun of the girl bossification of every action movie in the last 20 years, 30 years.
But the thing is, those are movies that are made for male audiences, but they're just made wrong, right?
It doesn't matter though.
They think they're made for women because they put a woman in the role without understanding the dynamics of why people like those movies. Women and men go to action movies for vastly different reasons, and largely it is predicated upon it being a male lead. Men go to action movies because for men it's the male power fantasy of hyper competency that you could be good in any situation. For women, they go to action movies because they like the idea of a man being hyper competent and being able to protect them.
But wouldn't you say, like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I would argue that the best action movies in history are usually from a more conservative / masculine kind of perspective.
Well, yeah, that's the point I'm making, is the idea of the dude being very good at what he does and then protecting those around him.
And what I'm saying is nowadays, it's not that way. So, like, this discontent that Gen Z's feeling, like, maybe it's just that alone. Maybe they're looking for the reason. They think it's the father figure being absent or men not being sensitive, or they think it's the, you know, which I agree with the sex scene stuff. It is like crazy how much it serves no purpose to the story anymore. They just throw it in everywhere. But maybe those are not those are just symptoms of the larger issue.
It's the funny thing is I rewatched Rambo recently, and Rambo is the quintessential action hero, and obviously it becomes more of that as the franchise goes on. But the original movie's literally just like he's being bullied by this small town sheriff, and then chased, and then the end of the movie he breaks down in tears in the arms of his commanding officer as he talks about the horrors of what he saw in Vietnam. I think it's Vietnam, and in what it was like to watch his friends die and the public hate his guts, and he's crying like a baby, and it's extremely emotional, and it's great, and that's fantastic storytelling.
Who wrote that though?
I don't remember who wrote that, but that, I mean,
I'd be curious their other work. And
so, but the point being that that's a movie which would have been considered an action movie, but has deep emotional resonance to it.
But like, look at John Wick, or with his motivation for getting started.
His dead wife gave him one last gift before she died, which was a dog, and then they killed the dog, which ostensibly killed the last memory of his wife.
Then the Punisher.
I mean, it depends on your iteration.
Right, but like, again, like, trauma is very common in being a motivating factor, and no one faults anyone when the trauma's legitimate. You know?
I rewatched Taken the other day, and I think my favorite part about that is, like, her best friend is killed, but she's, taken. They don't ever say kidnapping in the movie, and the amount of like Eastern Europeans he murders is shocking. I mean, it's not as many as John Wick kills, but like it's pretty crazy, especially considering
how many did they make? 3 of those?
3 of them.
Wow.
And fun fact, I actually really like the third one, even though it really does jump the shark. I actually really like the third one in that.
I think I've only seen the first one.
It's really good.
I liked that one where he's lost in the woods with wolves.
Oh,
The Gray? Is that what it's
Gray.
called?
I never saw it, but yeah.
That was pretty good.
He's done a bunch of those types of, that's like his thing now.
Yeah.
They're called, what do they call them? Geezer teasers.
Really?
Those types of action movies.
Okay.
I mean, those are a little bit different. Taken is a little bit different because Taken was extremely successful.
Right.
But the general premise is like you take an older, very established actor and have him basically as the only real name you know.
So when does Jason Statham get into that territory?
He's already in that territory, but he is a force of nature unto himself. He doesn't have to worry about that. All right. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about movie theaters. We're going to have to salute the death of movie theaters, which is sad to me, if you ask me. What we're looking at right now is, put it up on screen here, AMC Theaters grapples with nearly 10% attendance drop in the last quarter alone. AMC Entertainment Holdings has seen its fourth quarter net loss edge down lower overall revenues as it hopes for a stronger Hollywood box office this year. On Monday, the debt-laden parent company of AMC Theaters reported overall revenue at $1.28 billion, down 1.4% against a year earlier of $1.3 billion. That came as a total attendance at its domestic and international theaters fell nearly 10% to 56.3 million patrons during the latest quarter. The U.S. market attendance was off 7.5% to 39.9 6.7 million filmgoers, while international attendance was off nearly 15% at 16.5 million ticket buyers after a roller coaster ride of the Hollywood box office in 2025. Why is it that you think that theaters are dead right now? So I saw this tweet going viral the other day, which says Netflix didn't kill movie theaters. $20 popcorn and $12 water sealed the coffin.
No, because you don't have to buy that stuff.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's one, the economy is just not great. People are pulling back in areas that are easy to pull back in, and one
It's
of
good
those,
enough to go to war with Iran.
Well, yeah, there you go. One of those areas that you pull back on is going to movies. It's very easy to have a movie night inside your own house, and rent a movie for $2.99 on YouTube, or you have a streaming service. Very true. So I think there's that. There's also the fact that I can't name the last good movie that went to theaters. I can't name a single one. This has been a rough year for movie releases.
Well, it just started. If you're talking 2025.
Sorry, but this is from what quarter?
Quarter 4, so the end of 2024.
Exactly. So I can't name a single good movie released during Q4 or even Q3 of 2025. And I think that's part of it. I'm sure that you're going to find one. I know I see you Googling
I'm
over
just
there.
Curious.
I can't, but can you name any off the top of your head?
Does it have to be Q5? Or Q4, excuse me?
Well, when is this reporting's from Q4, right?
So the end of the year.
Q3, Q4. They're saying the numbers are down in Q4. Sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what reason did people have to go to the movies?
What would have been the big
movie
ones?
reviews?
Wicked was one of the ones that came out at the end of the year last year, though it didn't make the money that they expected it to at the box office.
We're going to see a rebound. My prediction here is, continue, but we're going to see a rebound with Q1 in 26.
Keep going. I'm curious.
You need to make better movies that people actually want to see. And a part of it is, like, when I go to the movies, I want to sit with the popcorn and a drink. Like, that's part of the experience. And maybe it's because I grew up and that's how I did it. And so, of course, I still want to. Instead, we're stopping at Dollar Tree on our way, right? I don't need popcorn.
The big trench
but
coat,
I'll get
right?
some. Yeah. I have a big enough bag that, like, we will bring whole drinks in. Like, Brett will bring, like, a sparkling ice or whatever.
I buy everything.
I
buy everything else there.
Have you seen? I think it's Ross Creations. He brought in microwave popcorn and a microwave.
Oh, that's hilarious! It's cheaper, right?
Him.
It's cheaper.
Right.
The risk is worth it, right? Because if we want to get drunken fries and we get 2 of them, right? One for each of us, it's $22. That is insane.
No. It's way more than that.
But that's before tax and without a drink.
In the 30s.
That's with a drink or anything else, because your girl likes an icy sometimes. God forbid. But, like, it's so expensive. I'd rather just bring something from home or buy something at the dollar store on the way, because it's ridiculous that you're paying.
Avatar was the biggest one. Okay. And that was the end of the year.
No,
we didn't see it.
No. I didn't. No. How did that one do?
It didn't make the money that the first 2 did, but it made well over $1 billion.
Okay.
Wow. 1.4. But all his movies.
So we'll see. Right now I know Hoppers is that new DreamWorks movie, and I think it's doing very well because it's an original story.
No, I don't think it's out yet. It comes out.
I thought it just came out last weekend.
The other ones domestically were all not.
Well,
Q4.
Zootopia, I don't know if this was Q4.
Not Q4.
But Zootopia 2 did very well. But then I just saw today it's coming out on streaming. I'm like, well, yeah, if I really wanted to watch it, I didn't watch Inside Out 2 until we were flying to Minnesota. Okay. And I was like, I need something to watch. And so I downloaded it because it was about the length of the flight. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll just put it on and do whatever else. And I just think original stories is another one that they're lacking. The experience to go to the movie is just not as fun as it used to be.
It's a lie, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's wrong. People don't want original stories. They believe they do. They might even believe in their own hearts that they want original stories, but the numbers do not actually back this up in any way, shape, or form. People want, and I'm not saying you, I'm looking at you, the audience, you, the person watching this right now. You're thinking me, not me. No, maybe not you, but the general audience does not want new. What they want is sequel schlock, because slop is bad, but schlock is good. So they want sequel schlock, which sometimes turns out to be slop.
Well, I think too they're coming out with a lot of superhero movies, and
they're not though.
But
there's
less
made every year.
But I've said that the reason I don't want to go see them is because I have to do hours of homework to understand what's going on.
Yeah, but that's like everything. If you procrastinate, then you gotta do all the work right at once. If you were just watching the movies as you were supposed to.
Do I look like a superhero girly
during-
to you?
That's an insane thing to ask people.
Do I look like a superhero girl?
So I'm going to be covering a story on the bonus episode that I'm filming after this with Verbal Riot about how the Russo brothers kind of intimated that Disney Plus is what killed the Marvel momentum.
Possibly.
Which is like,
Maybe.
you know, having to watch 10,000 television shows. Look, there's exactly one person who liked Agatha all along, and it was me.
you.
And there was one person that liked Wonder Man, and it was me.
I liked Wonder Man.
Didn't that just come out?
Yeah, a month,
We watched it in
month
like one
ago.
night. It was really good.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, it was only like 2 seconds.
But I
other
kept asking questions.
The
I was
other
like,
thing
oh,
is,
yeah.
movies need to. The movie theaters
Oh,
need
The
to
Housemaid
innovate.
was Q4. That did
Okay.
really well.
Oh, they did do well with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried,
Movie
right?
theaters need to innovate. Because right now, everyone, I mean, you see how cheap TVs have gotten? Everyone's
yeah,
got a
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It is like, it's like I point that out every time. It's like you can get like a 70-inch TV for like
$400.
$10.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$10 in a pack of bubble gum. They're like, just take it. Like we're
Yeah.
giving these things away these
So
days.
most people, they do that like I can have a really nice like home theater, you know, in quotes, a home studio to watch anything that I want with a $10 streaming service subscription. Or I can go to the movies, which
I mean,
is
yeah,
a
okay,
drive.
that's also not true. $10 is not what you're paying for streaming outside of.
$7.99 for the ads.
Okay, yeah, if you're getting ads, but that's not a theater
Yeah.
experience. Then you're
I
watching.
disagree because when you go to the movies now, you're watching 45 minutes of ads before the damn thing
Ads. Then
starts.
you don't show up until the movie starts.
We usually show up when it starts because then you still got like.
So
I'm just saying, but
Movie
my whole point, I don't want to get bogged down. My whole point was movie theaters need to innovate, like you see in Las Vegas with the Sphere.
Yeah.
We have,
Vegas is literally like bleeding money right now.
but
Vegas
the
could not be
Sphere is
struggling.
not. But
Yes,
the,
it is.
Not the
It-
Sphere.
It had a $500 million loss its first year.
Of course, but yeah, because they just built the thing.
It's not. Look,
But it's like the one attraction that everyone's still talking about.
That's
so,
true. It is the only one that like gets any kind of buzz.
Right.
Now.
So the Sphere, and it's like, and that immersive. It's not just that they're doing these bars all over the country with these immersive screens, like these curved display that people can go and watch sporting
immersive.
events,
Yeah.
UFC fights.
I mean, but you're only seeing so much at the Sphere, right? It has to be an act
But-
big enough that can afford to rent it out.
right now, but they're proving out the concept. Now we're getting
Do you see
more
they're
in
making
DC.
another one?
Yeah.
I was like, look,
yeah.
but it's like it's technically in Maryland, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro, there's nothing in the Maryland bio that justifies putting this here.
I don't. It's not a great part. Like it's a hard. That part of Maryland too is hard
Yeah,
to
it's a
get
rough
to.
one.
But you know, I'm always trying to get Brett to go to the 4D movies, and he refuses.
He always
No.
says no.
They're
He always
so
says no.
fun.
I'm not
He
going to
said that to
4D.
me.
I'm
But you
not
know what?
seeing stuff in 3D.
Whenever I go to a movie, it's always sold out and packed.
The
So-
4Ds?
The 4Ds, and that's what it is. These theaters need to innovate and find because, you know, in the 50s and 60s, people didn't have televisions at home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, you went
that's
to the
true.
theater to
Yeah.
watch what was in the movies. There's a giant screen. People have giant screens
That
in their
was my
bedroom, their
grandparents'
living
first
room, their
date, yeah.
bathrooms, the shower. You know, with the experience it isn't
Yeah.
really fun anymore.
It's not like a
It's not-
novel thing
exactly.
anymore. So like I'll tell this story even though it's definitely embarrassing to me. The One Direction movie came out when I was still a stan at the time. And I actually have a friend that I made
Brave of
at
you
the,
to admit
I
this,
have a
son.
friend still to this day, like 12, 13 years later, that I met at that movie watching that. They don't make those movies like they do anymore. And they had screens out in the front where you could like watch music videos, and it was a whole experience. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters. Don't judge me. I was, you know what? It was a part of girlhood that I think they don't have now.
Women do
So I'll
that a
just take
lot.
that.
I don't
I'll-
think men see movies multiple times in
Stands
theaters.
do that. Listen, as like a
Which is, I think, a
was-
woman thing.
It's 100%. It's like the girls and the gays. You know, it's
yeah.
But you know what? I remember that still, and I still like cherish that. I have a friend still from that experience, and making it like a whole kind of all-encompassing experience is something they don't do. They're just like, okay, movie's out, but like our theater doesn't have like preview screens like in the lobby like the old one did where I went to growing up. Went to like an AMC that had like games, and they had like a little arcade, and it was like a whole like you could go for like hours and then go see your movie, and it wasn't as expensive. Your parents could throw $20 at you and be like, okay, now you're gone for 5 hours, like out of my hair for 5 hours. And
Latchkey kids.
same thing with concerts getting expensive. That was also my poor parents.
That
spent
doesn't
so
make
much
sense to
money.
me. The concerts, because
Yeah.
with movie theaters, the technology has changed. You need a new cameras, the higher quality. You have to clean those. how is a concert really? What are you paying for?
I mean, what are you talking about?
The sound quality is not much better than it was 30 or 40 years ago. The venues aren't much better.
They've, I mean, depending on how elaborate the show is.
Yeah.
Like concerts are like, especially if you're talking like a Taylor Swift, like those are deeply elaborate shows.
Stadiums, yeah.
But that's also scalpers that are buying the tickets and then reselling them. She didn't sell them for those insane thousands of dollars. People bought them and resold them.
Even though the prices that she was selling them at, it's like insane.
Oh,
it's
sure.
WWE's going through that right now.
Yeah.
Where they're pricing out families and regular people, kind of the same way Disney is doing, which is to price out families in favor of dinks. Like WWE is doing that right now, which is to price out normal families in favor of like rich people with lots of disposable income who can afford it.
And they wonder why people aren't going to the movies.
Yeah.
It's like why people are choosing to stay home.
I still love the theater, man.
It's like
it's the only thing that can get me off my phone.
No, I'm good not driving.
There's
20 minutes wasting gas.
Have you been to the drive-in? I think it's still around it's in Maryland, probably about 30 minutes. They have actual drive-in theater.
I feel like I've seen this.
Now the movie selection is obviously very limited, but that's always
really
popular too. A little bit, keep going, but
okay,
yeah,
like
that way.
Okay, because then I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I think that's usually packed when they do it. And it's
Yeah.
all it's not the newest movies, but people like the experience. It's novel, even though it's an old concept.
All right. Look, I plan to go see more movies this year. I really do. I enjoy the theater experience. All right. Let's go to Super Chats here, ladies and gentlemen. From the top, from Shane H. Wilder, says, Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett, and that one dude who bought me a drink at a DC bar that one time. JK, how's it going, Kellen? You here to keep Brett in line?
What's up, big man? Big dog. Yeah, I'm trying to keep Brett in line, but you know him. He's always, he's always coming up with excuses.
Yeah, it's your day to do that. Tomorrow's my day, but it's your day to keep him in line today. I got you tomorrow.
Just let him borrow that shackle of yours, and then
yeah.
we'll be good.
Shane H. Wilder again says it is time for primary elections in Texas. Send prayers my way.
Yeah.
I am in the calm before the storm. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, best of luck if you're in Texas. Go vote. It's the best thing you can do. Not to get political on this show, but go vote, especially in the primaries. I can't wait to campaign. So important.
I can't wait to campaign for Fetterman in 2028.
Okay.
Dude, he wore a suit to the State of the Union,
and he shook Trump's hand.
He did,
and stood
up a few times.
Yeah,
I have been Team Fetterman since day one. He's gonna win, guys. He's right. Plus he's a senator. Senators have a much better chance of running for office.
Imagine him
than Congress people
being the Secretary of War.
Hell yeah.
Just this behemoth of a man.
Secretary of ska music. He looks like he would listen to ska.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a wild take.
I love Fetterman.
He looks like he'd listen to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
System of a Down. Ska.
Maybe
and
ska. Like he does both. He dabbles.
Maybe Dave Matthews Band. I don't know. He's like a suburban Pennsylvania. Maybe you guys don't understand because you're from the Midwest, but I've seen these types. They're the types that go out in the snowstorm and shovel with winter boots and shorts on.
Yep. Shorts on. Yep.
The hoodie's iconic.
Well, we've seen that.
That's exactly what Minnesotans do.
All right,
Michiganders too, but there is a different vibe to Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
so I understand what you mean.
Got a 20 here from Carnell. Says, I can't recommend enough that Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is the best movie in theaters. It's original, funny, and weird, and probably the most relevant story to our culture, but it's not getting the attention it deserves.
Yeah,
Heard of it. Well, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. But you're just proving my point, man, which is that people don't want original. They claim they want original.
But that's not true because Bullet Train was such a massive success.
It was not that much of a success.
Not
for the level of inflection in your voice there. I'll have to look it up. Somebody can give me look up the box office. Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna look it up. I'm
and it wasn't just the box office.
It was great
it's done
too.
very
I'm not
well
saying I didn't. I
outside
loved
of
it.
theaters.
I did love that movie.
But
that's also a remake.
That could just be. Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Based on, or I think it's based on like a Japanese film.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it made 103 million domestic and 135 million overseas.
What was the budget?
I don't know what the
probably
production.
a lot. They
85 million dollars before marketing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I think it had better success outside of theaters though.
I really liked that movie. That was a good one.
But my point is, it was well received for the people who saw it. So original content, it's just hard to get people to latch on to new ideas.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a Bullet Train. Oh no, I'm sorry. Bullet Train Explosion streaming on Netflix. It's a Japanese reboot of the 1975 Bullet Train. So yes, there was a
Multiple.
Yes, multiple versions of it. Thank you so much for that. I enjoyed that movie a lot, though. And you could make the argument that given where it came out in 2022, if it came out now, farther post-pandemic.
I see the lights, and my brain knows it's gonna happen.
I'll give you a hint. So when the party is triggered, a little click goes off. You have to. I'm even with being deaf in one ear, I can hear it because I've.
I did jump a little bit at that one, but you switch the camera so fast they never see me jump fully. They see him jump. You switch it right to Calvin who's jumping.
He knows because it's been happening every time. I don't get used to it every time I do the show, and I work for those who don't know, my office is above the studio.
Oh, yeah.
And so you'd think I'd be used to all of this, but
does it shake the ground?
Oh yeah. I know. I sigh to Charles every time, dude. It's the worst part of my day is listening to this shake.
You can blame Tim because I used to work at the castle. And
Tim moved you guys here.
Yeah.
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, Olivia in the chat gaslighting us. I thought we were friends. Wait, that means Brett and Kellen gaslit me too. I feel so used by my so-called homies.
See, we didn't gaslight though. We just
what?
didn't disclose that I'm here. We didn't put that out there.
Dude, I didn't have anything to do with it.
It's a shocker, man.
Brett
look.
said, I need a picture of you, and then I didn't ask any questions, and he didn't elaborate. That's all that happened.
Yep, and I was just told yesterday, I'm gonna need you tomorrow. I was like, say no more. Okay.
Bro, everybody was like, nah. Busy, working,
So he pulled me in from the very last
Yeah.
bench warming spot and was like, fine. Yep.
It's like when you bring it's like in Waterboy when they tried to bring the towel boy in. And
Yeah, that's me.
Yep.
I'm the water boy.
Corey Anderson says Dr. Luke is innocent.
Hot take, but okay.
I don't know if that's true. He was never prosecuted
Disavow.
in a court of law,
Disavow.
so I can't speak.
I'm just going to disavow it outright.
Corey Anderson says it is Pew Pew Day, kind of like Nudie Magazine Day, but instead of Nudie Mags, you get a Pew Pew. So you're going to go buy a new
I didn't
Pew Pew?
know either existed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam says Olivia must have fought and won against the guy who caressed Brett's leg. Welcome to PCC, Olivia.
I did.
Yep.
Sure did.
Guy at the bar.
Yep.
Corey Anderson says, hey, OC. It's nice to see you.
Hi.
Whenever I've seen that, because I see it in the Discord and everything, OC, I just think of Ocean City.
I think of Orange County. I still, even though I know it's me, I'm like, Orange County.
Think of the classic Josh Schwartz series, The OC, starring Benjamin McKenzie.
You guys can call me OCD from now on.
That is true.
Those are my actual initials now.
That's hilarious.
So,
Mine are
so
bad.
call me that. Yeah, bad and OCD. Let's go.
That's us.
Yep.
All right. Corey Anderson. No, I'm sorry. Let's go to Adam W. Says, fingers crossed that Paramount will restore the Snyderverse.
Ugh.
Bro, I don't.
You want
It's just
snooze fest?
it's just Ben Affleck is getting up there, man.
Yeah.
He's old.
I don't like the Snyder films.
Ooh.
They're too long, and it's
They're
just
long.
oh, you want to watch a superhero movie? Here's a college lecture instead. That's how I feel about those movies.
Okay, that makes
now,
sense.
that being said, I was not a fan of the Batman. Was that Zack Snyder?
No.
I was not a fan of that either. So I'm not a fan of DC in general. So
I am a bigger fan of DC, but it is a hot take.
I did like the newest one they just did,
Superman.
Superman,
I like Superman,
with James Gunn.
Yeah.
but I liked
It was a good one.
I liked Fantastic Four too.
I liked Fantastic Four.
But that's Marvel, I
did.
thought.
It is. I'm
It
saying
is, but it was good.
I liked.
It was good.
I liked them both this year.
Okay.
I liked Little Robot.
Yep.
I didn't see that one yet.
It's good.
Corey Anderson says Paramount needs to release Batgirl. Well, they can't do that. They already wrote it off on their taxes. I don't know what that would be
Rip.
like for them to release that. Shane H. Wilder says, did you hear about Cartoon Network shows moving to Tubi, and now people are upset with Tubi that Tubi has ads? Have they not heard of ad-free Tubi?
Maybe they've not, but I love Cartoon Network. That was big part of my childhood. Was Cartoon Network.
Well, did you guys hear about Adult Swim canceling Smiling? Well, they didn't cancel. The creators decided to not pursue Smiling Friends anymore.
Why?
Oh.
They just think it's a good place to end after season 3. They're like, we don't want to
Interesting,
stretch.
okay.
They're offered a buttload of money. They could do season 4 and 5. People call it like the new Rick and Morty because it's just so widely beloved and watched. But yeah, the move doesn't shock me. Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, they don't really have those shows holding it down
Yeah,
anymore.
they don't got a good, like, one was like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy growing up, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
They always had a handful
so
to pick
good.
from, and now
Yeah.
you've got one that everyone talks about.
Yep.
And
Yep.
All right, let's go. We got more to get into today. That there. All right. Shane H. Wilder says, L-Raps suck. I've had to deal with them and still have nightmares. They might actually be my sleep paralysis demon.
they're not that bad.
Who was I just talking to recently about sleep paralysis demons? There's quite a few of them.
Maybe the demon itself.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Could have been them.
Mike says, Miss Burt asked nicely. Bring her back.
Yes, I've been asking for super chats. I'm looking at you, chat.
Were you asking
Goody.
politely? You gotta ask
I started
politely.
out politely, but then I got a bit more
Rude
like
as it goes
angst.
on.
Well, that and like buy merch. Why aren't you buying a Mocha mug?
Oh, I
Hello?
didn't even shill
You
merch. today. I'm
didn't
bad
shill,
at
I
my
don't know.
job. There we go, ladies and
There you
gentlemen.
go.
Yes, we do have a bunch of new merch on the PCC merch store. You should get your hands on a Lady Justice Mocha mug
So good.
or a traditional Justice for Mocha mug. Of course, I like the one.
Do you
want to
see Mocha sad? No, you don't. Go buy the mug, or she's gonna cry.
She will cry.
She will cry, and it's gonna be sad.
I like this shirt as well. Me and Jessica put both of these shirts together. That one's great.
I like the
I'm a
retro
fan
shirt,
of this
personally.
one as well.
Retro shirt, I am
this
favorable to.
one.
Yeah, the cup design on
I
it.
kept like
Heck
going,
yeah.
like me and Jessica went back and forth. I was like, the yellow needs to be yellower but darker. It can't be electric yellow.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
To fit it, but the mug is what you need, ladies
Yes,
and
get
gentlemen. If
the
you want to
Mocha mug.
truly get Justice for Mocha.
And you can drink your Mary's Ghost Blend out
Yes,
of
you
the
can.
Mocha mug.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
All right. Adam says, just get a PS5 for your DVD needs.
No.
He's right, you know.
It's expensive.
Nah.
Well, you can get like a PS4. Those
Yep.
are cheap now.
I mean, or you could just go to a thrift store and get a DVD
You can get a
player
DVD
for
for like $30.
And a VHS
You can get a
player.
new one for $30.
I still have a
Yeah.
VHS player in storage at my dad's.
We should see if it works.
Mm.
Should get it sent here.
Adam says, oh no, I'm sorry. Pat the Plumber says, OC, how's Brett's Stalin memorabilia collection going?
You know what? He was using it to rizz me up, and once he actually got me, he stopped collecting.
See,
So
that's-
I failed to,
The problem with it is that, like, having Hitler memorabilia is considered way more evil than having
Taboo.
Stalin memorabilia, and they should both be taboo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hitler, like having that, you're evil. Having Stalin, you're weird.
You're weird, but you're not
Yeah.
evil. Yeah.
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, Brett, $95 for a Sony Blu-ray player. Then you can play Blu-ray, DVD, and even pop in that old Third Eye Blind CD. Also, they last for at least a
Blu-ray is the
decade.
biggest scam ever.
Yeah.
I've never
Facts.
needed to watch anything in Blu-ray ever
No.
in my life.
Never. It's never needed it.
Corey Anderson says, you are going to move away from Bucket, Dusty, and Vincent? I thought you were a better person, OC. Brett, this may be grounds for divorce.
No. Look. You guys fail to realize that's actually part of what has kept us where we are now instead of moving when our lease was originally up. We talked about it. And we were like, 1, moving in the winter. 2, our landlord is an angel. And 3, the cats, the community cats. Now, if we were to move out here, I still have friends in that town, in the town we live in now. I could go visit them. I could.
To be fair, if you're new here and you don't know what we're talking about, Bucket, Dusty, and Vincent are the local neighborhood cats. Bucket and Dusty are owned by a family down the street, but they're outdoor cats, so they're allowed to just roam free. Vincent lives down at City Hall.
Yeah. Vincent, he used to have 2 other cats with him. He's like, there's these cat colonies, and now it's just him, unfortunately. Over our wedding week, 2
Yeah.
of them, we came back to only 1. We left with 3, came back, there was only 1. That
very
was sad.
All right, Corey Anderson said, oh no, we read that one. Username neither I nor Mary will ever pronounce while we're on the show, says, Olivia reminds me of someone, but it's hard to figure out who.
Wait, what's wrong with that username?
Read it.
We just don't say it.
Is it a slur?
I don't
I think so.
I don't like the implication
I think
here.
I said it once on air, and I was like, I just kind of played it off. But, like,
Yeah, I know what they're saying, and I'm just gonna. Nope.
Donkey Kong is a good game, though.
True. Valid.
No?
I like King Kong.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
King Kong would totally beat
Those are
Donkey
like
Kong in a fight.
completely opposite. They're not even in the same realm.
If we're picking
Like,
up
what? It's like saying Jurassic
You know,
Park and Godzilla are the
King
same
Kong
thing.
could also kick that stupid Punch Monkey's butt.
Leave
you know?
Punch
Oh
Monkey
wow,
alone.
you're a Punch hater. Whoa.
Okay.
I'm just saying he's kind of weak though.
He's a
Coriander.
baby.
Well, I heard that they're removing his teddy bear
But I also
because
so-
Evil.
he's not assimilating.
but
to
I
his
saw that was
community.
fake news, and they're
Oh, was it?
and they're
Okay.
saying the baby monkeys will naturally like leave the toys and interests behind as they assimilate. So he's
Much
doing
like
just
children.
fine.
So
Right.
yeah.
Corey Anderson says, I dislike millionaires more than I do billionaires. Yeah, they're more annoying.
Yeah, they are. They're a bit
Million-
more pretentious, I think, honestly. Billionaires, like, they
Well,
don't
they
care
just
they're
don't talk
billionaires.
about that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
They talk about their product as they take a little bite of Burger King.
You know who
or
I don't like?
McDonald's.
Yeah.
The people that are all about that hustle culture. You know who I'm talking about. You know those Instagram
Yeah.
bros.
Like, what's his name? Ashton Hall.
Yeah,
the morning
he
routine.
does it a more.
Tongue-in-cheek way. But
Better-
no,
he
because
does it
he's
a
like
better
selling
way.
a course.
We have a
and, yeah.
whatever he said about the sales or whatever in that
Yeah.
one clip. Yeah. He's a hustler for sure.
Yeah. Corey Anderson says, "Does Vincent have a donation page?" Yes. It's weird. It looks just like our Teespring store. You
It's
can
so
donate right here by buying a piece of merchandise.
It also looks like the super chat button or the channel membership button. It has various forms.
correct. All right. If you join PCC as a member, it goes to the show, which keeps me employed, which
Which
helps
goes
us
to
keep
Vincent.
feeding Vincent.
Well, keeps us in our apartment, which helps us then.
correct.
Even though I am getting him fed today with somebody else because I will not be home on time.
Shane H. Wilder says Robin Hood didn't take from the rich; he took from a corrupt government that was overtaxing its citizenry.
Correct.
That is correct. Corey Anderson says, "OC, what is Phil like in person?"
He's pretty much the same as you'd see him on the shows. I mean, I would think, I always say this, most of the people at Timcast, if not all of them, what you see is what you get.
Not me.
Yeah.
I
Pretty-
say
except Kellen. Kellen's a lot more mean.
I say only red M&Ms in my dressing room.
Brett's
And,
kind of a diva.
Well, here's the funny part
And,
about that.
and if I don't get Aquapana, there will be violence.
Diva.
Here's what's funny about that is Brett demands red M&Ms, but he's colorblind, so we just give him whatever
Yeah.
he doesn't know.
If we give him the green ones, I'll start speaking like Tucker Carlson, so we avoid that one at all costs. Yeah. We no, Phil's great. Everyone here is pretty much what you see is what you get. They're all very you know.
The Democrats won't stop until Phil
The
Labonte-
radical left doesn't want you to have M&Ms. Why is that? Why do they hate you? Why do they hate candy?
And maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
Corey Anderson says, OC, have you ever been in a bar fight?
No, but I have been. I did receive a lifetime ban from a club one time.
That is true.
That is all I'll say about it. I didn't do anything that bad, but I didn't get in a fight. But I
Yeah.
definitely should have chosen my words more wisely.
Tyrone the Big Black Cat
Ow.
says, what about Back Rooms by A24?
Oh, yeah, but that teaser didn't tell you anything. So unless you're like on the internet and know about Backrooms, you have no idea what that movie's about.
Okay.
But I am interested, but it's not something I'd go to theaters to see. I'd probably wait till I'm like, oh, this is on a streaming service. Oh, I'll check it out.
Make a A24 streaming service that's like illegal to download. That way nobody has to have it. Pat the Plumber says, Kellen, did you watch C on Apple TV? I love that show so much. First time Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista played brothers.
I did. I watched, I don't know how many seasons there are, but I watched like the first 3, I think, seasons, and I really liked it. But it kind of lost me. Not for no specific reason. Maybe I was just binging too hard, lost steam.
The,
But it is a really cool show. I enjoy it.
One of the people involved with C just got hired onto some big project, and because my brain is leaking these days, I don't remember what it was, but I just talked about it recently, but it's slipping
It's
my
a
mind
cool
who it was.
concept. I really like the idea of the show. And watching Jason, it's gory, it's violent, it's got that Game of Thrones feel. And so it's fun to watch Jason Momoa kick ass.
See, they're making a Game of Thrones movie, or so they say.
Ugh.
But there's already like 4 spin-off shows or whatever.
All right.
I can't keep up.
Adam says, I subbed to Daily Wire for 1 month just to watch the Pendragon cycle, Rise of the Merlin. It's really good. Y'all should watch it. Also, Olivia, do not dye your hair.
Tips. I told them if they got 5 crisis parties, they can pick what color.
You should do the Halo rings like Alyssa Liu.
Oh God, no! Oh, that would look so bad. No,
But it's in.
I would dye tips in my hair if they got us 5 crisis parties. I'm trying to incentivize
Yeah.
them So like if they do it, they can pick the color too.
If they
I'll
do
do it.
20, you should do the halo rings.
Okay, fine.
There
Because I
you
know they
go.
won't get there, so that's fine.
That's not, you say that
I
until
know,
they do.
I know,
Let's
and
get it,
then
ladies
Brett's
and
gonna
gentlemen.
divorce me, and then my life's gonna be
Yeah,
over.
I think it looks okay. It's fun. It's whimsical.
Yeah, I would do it for like 2 months and then just diet back
Yeah,
to yeah.
Adam says if she gets too far, the PCC crisis goes off.
Yeah, if I get too far off the like my ankle monitor going off.
That's why they're red and blue.
Because it's like the police coming for me. Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder says, nah, just give me a traditional man in cinema so young dudes have something to aspire to. 1 part romantic, 1 part hero, and 1 part family man.
Yes, duality of man. I agree.
You know who just did a romantic
That's
scene?
not duality of man, though, because all of those things can coincide with one another.
You know, that's true.
Yeah,
look at James
yeah.
Bond.
But
Yeah.
like I agree. I think that's I think that's what people want to see, and I don't get this whole we want to see men be vulnerable and emotional. No, you don't. Like literally, shut
what
up.
was
No.
the last movie you watched where okay, so we went to see Shelter. I wouldn't necessarily say Jason Statham movies are your thing, but you enjoyed that.
I mean, yeah, I liked the I don't know. There was something about it I liked. The girl was really good. She was very impressive for, child actors. You can only expect so much. She was great. I mean, like she took that and kind of took the star of the show role there. I was like, wow, I was so impressed with her. But I would trying to think if there's an example.
She
in a
hates
movie.
the character of House, and she can't understand why people like House.
He's a dick.
Of course.
I know, but that's like. But
But he has the right to be a dick.
Because he always ends up being right at the end.
Yes.
But okay,
I
so
do
I
appreciate
actually,
him being right, and I like all the other characters and how they and he's winning me over a little bit. We just got through the episodes where
House's Head and Wilson's Heart, which are probably the 2 best episodes in the entire show.
where like the accident happens, and you know what? It gave me a new appreciation for him. Not sold yet, but like by the end, I probably will be. He's funny. I'll give him that. He's funny, but
Did you start watching the Pit?
no.
You'll like it if you like House.
I will not like it.
Well, you will.
I will not.
Why?
I will not. Liberal propaganda.
What is wrong with
it's not
you?
that bad
Have
though.
fun, Brett. Have a little
It's
whimsy in your
not
life.
that bad.
Hold on.
He's a creature of habit.
There's
He doesn't like
listen.
to-
There's a couple eye roll moments, but it's such a small amount. It's forgivable. It's a good show. It's very highly accurate in terms of the way they do their medical scenes and stuff.
The
Yeah.
Pit executive producer says HBO wanted upcoming ICE episode to be more balanced. Why is there an ICE episode of a medical drama?
I didn't watch
I
the
don't
new
know.
season, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Propaganda. ladies
I'd
and
watch
Well,
it.
Love Noah Wild though, but if I,
I
want to
would
watch
watch
him,
it.
I will just go watch The Librarian.
No, I'll watch it. And
It was good.
Brett, you're being kind of a diva right now. I
Yep.
would watch it.
I'm not.
And,
watching it.
hey, and Paramount is coming to save the day, so
True.
the Pit will be saved.
If I have to watch whatever
that
it's
is
called,
a question. Like David Allison's like, get this liberal propaganda. Is like,
Ice agents.
he's like, sorry, we only do Zionist propaganda on this channel.
We're only going to do surgery, but it's in an Israel hospital.
Everybody here has to wear Stars of David
Yes.
and talk about how much they love Benjamin Netanyahu.
Is that how he sounds?
No.
I've never heard him talk.
I've never heard him talk. That's how I know that. In fact, he's so young looking that he probably sounds like Ben Shapiro.
I have a little like 15-pound dog, and I always give him like the deepest voice.
oh, you have like a tiny dog.
Yeah, he's like he's a mix with a bunch of stuff. He's not like
Aw.
super tiny. But
Big super chat here from Trudy Jones
Yay.
says, Brett, if you don't want to do cringe when Mary isn't here, would you consider bringing back brain
Yes.
rot of the
Ooh,
day?
Yes.
that could
Well,
work.
thank you for the big super chat, by the way. But for me,
Can we do
like-
unhinged of the day? I've got a lot of unhinged things in the chamber I could send you.
Like that's the thing. It's like selfishly, I don't want something like mucking up my algorithm. So whenever I was doing
I'll
brain
send it
rot
to-
of the day, it just
have
obliterated
a burner
my
account that you
algorithm.
can just get a burner account. I have a ton of just unhinged stuff that I like to send people at like 2 a.m. so they wake up to it. The most recent one was someone cosplaying as Rapunzel and Pascal, like the little chameleon thing, and the person dressed it was glorious. And my friend said, I don't know why I talked to you, and I was like, thank you so much.
someone
So-
did. I can't find it, but someone did footage of the Iran strikes. And then put the Costco guys over it.
Hell yeah.
With the "We bring the boo."
Let's go!
It's so
Hell yeah!
great.
Okay,
Hell
I don't know how
yeah!
I feel about that.
No, I love that. That's hilarious.
But I love because they're so
here's the- I'm
apolitical. People are
trying
just
to-
forced
Yeah,
them.
yeah. it's
Trying
hilarious.
to like walk my way out
Okay,
of
it's a
my
meme.
nihilistic worldview, which is like that's the stuff that makes me laugh, and I'm trying to walk my way.
No,
back
no,
from
join
Stop
us.
it.
It's funny. It's funny.
Like the KESHA thing made me laugh, but
It's the
I
same
also
concept.
understand that. But I understand that doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. Just because my brain is broken,
It's funny. I love that.
I'm just
I
I'm
love
trying
that
to
so
I'm trying to
much.
be my best
Thank you,
self
Trudy
these
Jones.
days. Thank
You're
you,
a real
Trudy.
one.
Which means that we could get to 5. We got to get 2 more crisis parties to force Olivia to dye her hair.
Like I'll do like good couple inches, and then you guys got to tell me the best colors would be like red, pink, or blue, just as far as
force
like
it.
quality of dye.
Yeah, you should do like liberal blue.
That's what I was thinking, like a
Purple.
neon purple.
Or do one side, one color. Do the green and
oh
purple.
god, that would be so bad. Green's the one color I refuse, but anything else, I got you guys.
All right, Dingus Khan have gone. Did you hear the?
I did hear
Okay,
it.
so there's your
Where's it-
clue that it's coming. It's gonna happen any
Oh,
minute now.
you're lying.
Oh, I heard it. No, I heard it.
It's like a Jack in the Box.
But it might, once we get over 3, it's possible that it might like reset.
I
and,
heard
like,
the click though.
I did hear
you
it that
hear
time.
And then I actually kind of yelped at that one because it scared me so
I was
much.
waiting.
Guys, I got too far off the premises. My bad. My bad. Don't turn it up. What are you doing?
No, I'm turning it down.
Oh, I was like, how dare
What
you?
happens
How
is-
dare you?
Sometimes what happens is it resets and then starts
Oh,
over
yeah,
again.
yeah.
So like I have to prevent it from doing that.
Woo.
We could still get those 2 crisis parties and force Olivia.
I'll
to dye
do
her
it.
hair.
I will do it tomorrow.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia says, just spent $1,500 at the repair shop, bro. I feel you. But I am enjoying Dasovic cast and wish to support it. Thank you.
you.
I appreciate that.
You're an honorary Dasovic for this.
Oh.
There you go. Ugh. Ugh.
My bad, guys.
Shane H. Wilder says, everybody wish Cody Camelot a happy birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
dude.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Cody.
birthday, man.
Zoom zoom. Adam says, I think it's dying because of the woke pandemic.
Movie theaters.
Movie theaters, yeah. Yeah, I would agree. A lot of crappy movies.
The woke pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like the woke mind virus.
The only
It's a
real pandemic.
of-
It wasn't just a pandemic. It was woke too.
Yeah.
Woke.
Ugh.
All right. Where did I leave off here?
Shane H. Wilder after Adam.
Yes. Shane H. Wilder says, give me a movie that I want to dedicate my time and money to seeing in the theater, and I'll go. Last movie I saw in the theater was King of Kings.
Yeah.
Oh, was
fair.
that the Angel Studios one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corey
Fair.
Anderson says, the last good movie was Cocaine Bear. You're not wrong.
Fair.
I mean, not
Pretty-
the last one.
that's
but
pretty
It was
good.
very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Chief Corey Anderson also says, I only have so much money, OC.
I know. It's not you I'm trying to encourage. You have done your part. I'm trying to encourage the rest of chat to, you guys kept saying for like 2 years, where's Olivia?
Are you guys streaming on Rumble too?
Yes, I get to that after.
Oh,
It's-
okay. Because like they also have Rumble Wallet,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys can tip the show. So if you're a big crypto bro,
We got a
True.
$10 Rumble rant from the Quiet Part Pod. It says,
Yes.
let's go.
Thank you, Chris.
And a 20 from Quiet Part Pod that says, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast yesterday morning, Brett?
But you
I
did.
did eat breakfast. Here's the thing, though. If nobody had told me about the stigma around that, I probably would ask that question.
oh, what?
What do you mean? But like I did. Like to me, it's just
I
a
would
question.
literally be like shitty. I don't know. Like
Broody Gambit says, one of my monkeys has a Kong bone
Yeah, it's like a brand.
that she
Yeah.
brought with her from Canada. She always grabs it when she gets moved to new
Oh.
pens or
Not
takes it outside.
Canada.
Oh.
The Kong thing, I'm familiar with that brand. Good brand. But
Good brand.
Canada.
Yeah, Kellen's got a particular disdain, I've noticed. You have a particular grudge
Against Canadians?
against Canada
You know,
in
I did
general.
mean to bring this up, though. I'm getting white-pilled
Okay.
on saving the Iranian baddies.
Oh, God.
I saw
Of course
some,
you are. Of
I
course
saw
you
some.
are.
I saw some
Of
AI
course.
memes.
I think, people are calling them the sand Latinas, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense because there's sand in Mexico, too.
True.
So,
Fair.
but the Iranian baddies,
Persian baddies.
you have my support.
Persian baddies only.
Yes.
All right. Chief Corey Anderson says, no, I'm sorry. Let's do Adam says, movies have lost the people's trust. I think that's the most simplistic
Yeah,
way
it is.
of describing it. I think you're correct.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson says, live music is awesome, Kellen. It is why I am going to see All That Remains in May.
Well,
Lame
Phil,
take.
we don't consider
Yeah,
Phil's
I already
band.
replied to him. I was like, I didn't say live music wasn't awesome. I was
expensive.
complaining about
Yeah.
the fact that the quality has not improved over 30 years to
But the
justify the
price has.
price increase.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Corey Anderson says, my dog farted. Gross.
Toast does that. It is gross.
Yes. Shane Wilder says, the other issue is that original movies are not getting wide releases. I wanted to see The Ritual, but I would have had to drive 250 miles.
Jeez, yeah,
That's
no
crazy.
thanks.
Yes, they don't give wide releases to a lot
Yeah.
of the original movies because they just don't have the faith in them. Corey Anderson says, Brett and Olivia, what have you learned about being married in your, what does it say? What have you learned about being married in your newlywed year?
It's a good question. It's been almost 6 months. In 3 days, it'll be 6 months.
I mean, I've really discovered how lucky she is to marry me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
my
true.
sense of self,
Based.
which was always quite low, has since grown immensely as I prove day in and day out what a joy it is to be married to me.
It's true. No, I would say, and this can go for relationships, but with marriage, it's awesome to have somebody when things are rough. Most of the chat already knows I lost both of my remaining grandparents within like 34 days of each other.
Yep.
That was really, really rough on our family. And so having someone that you can lean on, that's good. So I'd say the support aspect and being able to, it's like having a kind of, I know this is like cringy, but like a best friend that just is kind of always there. It's awesome.
I've also learned how much easier it is to have sandwiches made when you have somebody make them for you.
You're doing great, Brett.
Yep.
You're doing great.
Yep.
Miss Ace, for $1.49 is CA Canadian currency.
It is Canadian.
Yeah.
Kellen's going to crash out.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's all right.
I love your Canadian bucks. You guys can send all the Canadian
Give us
currency
your
you want.
loonies and toonies, please.
Greg Duvier says, waiting for waiting for my mocha
As you
mugs."
should, King.
All right. Oh,
that's Brian.
Brian says, for mocha.
Yes, Brian, for mocha.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia says, DVDs are supposedly going to make a comeback with the streaming prices raising. I actually saw DVD players for sale at Walmart yesterday. All right. Corey Anderson says, what is the implication? Is it an inside joke?
He was talking about, oh my gosh, he said something, and it wasn't an inside joke, it was just something he didn't get, but there was something we said, now I'm trying to remember what that was
I don't know what it
in
was.
reference to, oh, it was, I look like somebody.
Oh. Is it in? Okay.
Saying I look like a certain someone, they can't quite put their finger on it.
But.
We all know.
All right. High Voltage 75 says, Mrs. D, what's your least favorite TV show that Brett has made you watch with him? Well, first of all, there's a misnomer there. I don't make her watch them with me.
I'm a good wife, so I do.
She does.
I'm not going to include Scream Queens because that was like something you did for the
I
channel.
would never have chosen that one by choice.
Oh man, there's one. What was it called? There was one I really didn't like, and you were surprised I didn't like it.
Well, no, you didn't like Grimm, but I knew you wouldn't like that.
Yeah,
one.
I didn't like Grimm, and then there was another one that you were like, I can't believe you don't like this, and I just didn't like it that much. You know, I didn't like House at the beginning.
Yeah,
So-
what I've learned is that she doesn't like any TV show in season 1. Usually by the time it gets into season 2, she tends to like it a little.
I have to learn the characters before I can like the show.
So what you're saying is you don't want original
That's
content.
what she said.
Yeah, that's totally what I'm saying.
Kind of
You got
is.
it. I like to get to know the characters
Right.
before I make a decision
Well,
if I
that's-
like it or hate it.
That's what Brett's whole point is like that's why people don't go to the movies because they want to see something that's familiar. That's why you don't start new
It's
shows.
different with a TV show because that's investing more time
mean,
and like
in-
seasons.
I
Whereas a
will-
movie is like 2 hours, 3 hours.
I will
Yeah.
give her some the utmost grace, which is that she's forced to put up with my unbelievably ADHD
gosh,
viewing
it's
habits,
so
which is
bad.
she is a completionist who wants to watch something from start to finish. I jump around 2 episodes at a time to various
Drives me
television
crazy.
shows.
I can't do that.
It drives me nuts.
I won't watch it to completion, but I'll watch it in order.
We'll be like watching something, and I'll be like, okay, I want to watch this tonight. I go to the bathroom, I come back, a new show's on. I'm like, what the hell, man? I was gone for
Well,
like 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's your fault.
I know. I
I
should
mean,
just not go to the bathroom.
If you want that TV on, you got to stay and watch it.
I know.
But if she requests something, I put it on.
Yeah. Yes, you
Yes.
do. I would say, yeah. There's only been 1 or 2 times, and that was for like a show that you needed to watch for
Yes.
the show.
Yep. All right, we've got some more
We
here.
had another from Judy Jones, I think, that was big.
Is
That second one, is that the one we already answered?
we already did that one.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is. Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Woo. Brain.
All right. Brian says, I asked Grok to generate an image of the typical internet expert. It gave me T-Bone. No shit.
Love you, T-Bone.
Okay.
Love you, buddy.
Corey Anderson says, the Pit Fetus Deletus episode was BS. Well, like an abortion episode.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, was that season 1 or 2? So basically, the Pit's cool though because the whole first season is 1 day at the hospital, and so episode 1 is like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Episode 2 is 7
Kind of
a.m.
like
to 8
24 or
a.m.
whatever, where it's like hour by hour. Yeah.
So that's what's cool, and it really encapsulates how nuts the emergency room can be.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Corey Anderson says, I don't understand Discord. There are too many buttons and choices. It scares me. Can one of you youngsters provide a how-to? Bro, I'm kind of the same way.
We need to.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
we
to
need
think of
to
the
do,
best way to
like-
do it.
Like a tutorial thing where people can find the channels.
Maybe you and Shane or someone else that like
Yeah,
in the
we could do
Discord
that,
can,
yeah.
because honestly, you guys know better than I do at this point.
Yeah, that's true. No,
So-
I would say if you go in the Discord and you watch, you go to the live stage, which will always be there, and you can see the events. Every day at 6 p.m. Eastern, we do the pre-show, and through there, you can kind of ask how to navigate things, and we can help you out, but we can directly link you to channels as well. And if you have any problems getting into the Discord and it's not connecting for some reason, you can tag the
It
I believe,
senses
technical
fear.
support.
That's what's going on.
Yeah,
It can sense
tag
your
our
fear.
technical support guy, Chris, who was literally just in here. It's C. Noski. If you tag him, he can help you out. Or if you have questions about calling in to IRL, that's my thing.
You
So
guys should do callers on this show.
I've said that many
All
a
right.
time.
Bro, get me a producer and some help, and we'll talk about it. I am both Tim, Phil, and
What if you have like a full
Carter.
panel? What if you got a panel and
You're
you
doing
can do
great,
it?
bud.
I'm everybody all at
Okay,
once, okay?
that's true.
I'm losing my mind here.
Oh boy.
Brian Bledsoe says, saw How to Make a Killing this weekend, and it was more about the relationship within the family than the Eat the Rich narrative in that interview. That's the problem!
That's how
They're
they made it look like
horrible at
that.
marketing their
Yeah.
own movies. Says also, here's $10 to Olivia's DVD player.
Thanks. Thank you.
Corey Anderson says Olivia Claire hates person of interest.
Do not spread that lie.
No, she ended up liking it.
No, and I didn't not like it. I was just, it's very complicated to understand what's going on, especially when you're with someone who knows everything and he's over explaining it. And you're like, and eventually you learn it. And you know what? I cried at the end. I cried in the finale. I did. I got invested.
I mean, you've cried in some episodes before.
I cried watching House last night.
Yes, you did.
I tried not to. I
Those
was like-
episodes are that good, though.
Oh my gosh, it was so like, oh man, just pulls at your heartstrings.
Yep. All right, Corey Anderson. Oh no, we did that one. Brian Bledsoe says. Oh no, we got that one too. I'm losing my mind. Corey Anderson says, "OC, Dean, Jess, or Logan."
Jesse,
My wife
he's
says
saying
Jess.
Jesse. I'm sorry, I'm partial to Dean because he was the first, and it was just like, he's talking about Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
I am Team Dean, except for in the later seasons when she gets back with that was not that phase of Dean, early phase
We've
of
got
Dean.
Hulu again. We can watch Gilmore Girls.
We should. It's a fall show,
I
in
can't
my
believe you
opinion.
said that.
Oh,
What?
Gilmore Girls.
Hmm.
It's
what's
the
wrong
most,
with Gilmore Girls,
the most
Kellen?
low stakes show I've ever seen.
It's not
That's what's so
supposed to
nice
have
about
stakes.
it. That's what's so
That's
nice
the
about
point.
it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of. I love the show Everwood, which is the exact same thing. It's a liberal big city doctor
Kellen's a
moves, to,
hater.
this,
He's a
moves to a
hater.
small
I
town.
need action. I need some kind of excitement.
The thing is I go through phases where like that's like half my viewing habits, and the other half. House is the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not action,
Yeah.
but I guess it's like people having medical instances.
It's some kind of, it's action.
Yeah.
It's,
It gets your heart racing.
It's high
you know.
stakes.
Yeah, it is high stakes.
Shane H. Wilder says, with the Paramount Warner Brothers deal, we might see more DVDs as the Paramount Plus shows on as all the Paramount Plus shows on DVD. Also, Scream Queens is good. You're just not snarky enough.
I'm too high IQ. I'm sorry.
There you go. Greg Dubier says, I like totals, and the left lane is for crime.
Yes.
Shane H. Wilder says, the Tard's Guide to Discord.
Guide. He meant guide.
Guide.
The
Okay.
Tard's Guide to Discord. We could
Okay.
make that. I'll take it.
All right, Drewish AF says, when is the mini Brett OC coming along? I'm surprised it took this long.
The
for
more
them to-
you ask, the more you wait.
every time somebody asks when we're gonna have a kid, I push it a month down the
They
road.
just keep getting more cats.
They
Dude.
keep we're not getting any more cats. I swear.
That's all that keeps happening. Every
Toast
time there's a
was a-
super chat, there's another cat that shows
it
up.
pops up. Another one
Yeah.
populates in our apartment. Our apartment right now is just full.
Yep.
Can't walk around.
High Voltage 75 says, Mrs. D, do you hate seafood?
I like shrimp. I like when like it's cooked well, I guess. I haven't had enough of it. I like a good a lobster. Lobster can be good. Lobster bisque. Ooh, sounds good. I'm hungry.
No
She,
crab?
she likes that, but she won't
I'm
eat.
iffy on crab.
Oh, crab is so
I don't
good.
think I've had the right, I don't think I've had it cooked well or prepared well, honestly.
She sacrifices not really getting to eat that a lot, and I
Yeah,
have to
Brett hates
sacrifice
it.
not eating Chinese food.
Chinese is okay.
It makes me sick. There's something they cook with
Yeah.
that every time I get it, I get sick. And so
Yeah.
I want to like it because
Sesame
it
or
tastes good.
something.
Yep.
I have no idea what it is.
Corey Anderson says, I am Team Dean as well, except at the end. Jess.
Jesse at the end. I hear you.
All right, guys, before we leave today, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already? Please and thank you. As always, remember, guys, we would not be here if it was not for you guys watching the show, sharing the videos, leaving comments on everything. The channel doesn't exist without you guys, so thank you so much for that. Kellen, where can they find you?
You guys can follow me. I do have stuff to do. You guys can follow me at KellenPDL everywhere on social media. Check out all the Timcast stuff. Follow Timcast News on X, on Instagram. Follow Tim Pool and all the work he's doing. Follow us across YouTube on all the different platforms and shows. Thank you for having me. It's been a long time.
No, thank you. Everybody came in and helped me out today. You do not exist in this space if you do not have people who can help you out.
And remember to keep the Persian baddies in your hearts.
There you go.
And minds.
Olivia, where can they find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me at Olivia Dasovic on Instagram and on X. And remember to become a member, not just on this channel, but at timcast.com and /join, I believe is the link. And become a member, join our Discord, where you can see lots more of me and Brett and Mocha. She's there quite often. And yeah, I will see you guys at between 6:30 on the Discord pre-show today.
You're like going straight from here to go do that?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Yep. Guys, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help the channel out. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix, at @popculture_show, Facebook at @popculturecrisis, Instagram at @popculturecrisisPod. Remember, guys, I am working on extra content for YouTube members. We'll be putting out additional episodes on the audio platforms as well. Lots of more stuff coming soon for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye.